Minotaur from Kentucky. Let's talk about that for a minute.
You could take it a step further.
It's a male fantasy. I want to say it's Chicharone.
I can't believe
It's,
I don't look like Bane anymore when I'm going to be talking.
I swear to God, it felt like I was drinking this beer for 2 hours.
that. And
It's a scam.
Did it touch you? Did it touch you?
yeah, it
Touched
made me
Touched
feel
me.
things.
Should we let everyone else in on the conversation? If it's too loud, then just turn it down, right?
Perfect sandwich. Beautiful.
Hello.
Hey!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Welcome to the late night podcast. This is the midnight snack. Joining me is Johnman, the John Man, and Eric.
Enrique.
Enrique.
How's everyone doing
He's
today?
here to plug his new
Hairline.
My new spoken word album.
Your new hairline that looks like it's growing
Yes,
in.
it's coming in nicely.
It's back
It's
with
back
a widow's
again.
peak.
Yes,
It is 9:30.
My new album's
we're going-
called "Let Me Put My Hairline in You."
Ooh. What beer are you pouring today, Eric?
Right now, I am pouring a nice glass of Pyramid Heffenweizen. And as everybody knows, I don't know if you have any oranges. Sometimes when you have a hef, you put an orange in it. I don't know if you guys ever had that, but it's pretty tasty.
Quite
delicious.
Quite.
Yeah.
So obviously, since this is
Wait,
hang
hold
on,
on,
there's
hold on,
a
hold on,
jet
hold on,
passing by.
Hold on.
I was just dropped off, so that's actually my jet going back.
Yeah. Thanks, Eric. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yes.
Yes.
We are also drinking Linguintas. Citrusness
I really
Pale
love.
ale.
I really love Linguintas. It's really good.
brewed with natural blood orange juice.
I like that.
It's good. It's
I
great.
really do. Anyway,
Great.
how's everybody doing? Welcome back to the sandwich.
It's good. I'm enjoying these dulcet tones
Yes.
and
The midnight
smooth
snack.
jazz.
You know, everyone loves midnight snacks. Do I have
They do.
some?
They do.
Do I have some smooth jazz on here?
Can we put a little jazz on right now in the background? A little jazz?
Enrique is our guy in the back.
Yes.
Say hi, Enrique. Yeah.
Yeah. So Enrique's
Yes.
gonna put this down. Anyway, I'd like to talk about a couple nice topics, a couple happy topics tonight that we're gonna get into.
Picard.
First off, before we get into that,
Yeah, enough of that.
how was everybody's week? How you guys doing?
We're drinking beer.
We are drinking beer.
Yes.
Did we skip last week?
We did. So
All right.
we're back after 2 weeks.
Yeah, back after 2 weeks. You know, this seems to be more of the thing. We're more of a bi-weekly show.
Yeah,
it seems
I
to
would
be.
say.
Is it bi-weekly?
Yeah, we're trying to do every week. I think last week was my fault, and so I was afraid that we might actually have to cancel this weekend. But then it actually turns out that everybody was free tonight, so here we are, a late night podcast.
Yeah.
So with
you don't know that though.
Sorry to like interrupt and change the subject like right now, but with like our current state, can you really call it bi-weekly anymore?
I don't think you can.
No.
No,
Is it
no.
like?
I think that's pretty offensive.
Is
to
it
some
a?
people.
Is it a neutral weekly?
Yes, it's neutral weekly.
Okay.
It's
It's non-gender. It's non-gender normative week.
Okay, yeah, I had a great week.
Is
man.
bi-weekly twice a week?
It's once a week. It's
Once-
once every
Or
other week.
every
2
other week.
weeks?
And like, you know, when you get
Twice
paid
a month.
bi-weekly, yeah, twice a month. Well, you know, I think we're more on the 3-a-month schedule. So, but I had a, 2 weeks. I've just been
We'll
working
put them
my
out and
ass
you'll
off,
listen
man.
to them.
It's summertime. Everyone's working their ass off.
I just barely got
Yeah, we're
off
not
about a couple minutes
children.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough.
I mean, you're still in your slippers.
Yeah.
I mean,
still
your
my slips.
business up front.
I'm still in my
you know?
business attire.
Yeah, you know.
Hammer How? What's that? Is that your new line you're pushing?
Yeah, it's my new clothing line.
1922.
So everyone
Estimated.
like, subscribe,
Wait.
get yourself a t-shirt.
Yes. One day we'll have t-shirts. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, as you could tell, me and John are wearing some tankies. Look at that.
I have
We're
a skull with
showing off our guns.
some fruit juice of some kind in it.
I almost took some scissors to this guy, but go ahead.
Why didn't you just flex them off?
Let me
Come on, Incredible Hulk that stuff.
let me get into that.
Where you're going, you don't need shirts.
Oh my
You don't
god,
need
there's so many
sleeves.
biceps in here. There's so many ripped guys in
Dude, obviously,
the frame. What's up with that?
honestly, with this picture right now, I'm surprised we have women.
Right?
God, dude, look at that. Look at that. Okay, yeah.
Yep. So we're back.
We are back.
Okay.
So obviously there's a lot of news this week.
Oh my God, so much news
That's
with
why
Comic
we
Con.
had to get together to talk about a couple of these things.
Most of it MCU related.
Yes, so much
A
MCU.
lot of it MCU related.
And if we do miss something, and like let us know in the comments, and we will definitely talk about
We'll
that.
try and touch everything.
Yeah.
You know, there is a lot to talk about. So excuse us if we miss some of your favorite things that you saw.
Like Donald Trump, am I right? Touch everything.
Oh.
Anyway.
All right. So obviously it was Comic-Con weekend.
Yeah.
And there were
some announcements.
Comic-Con did grab me by the vajee.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. It did.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Did not let go.
Is
all
Comic-Con
weekend.
becoming like the new like trailer premiere? Like
Yeah, that's the new like
the new norm is like
more of a press conference.
it's almost like E3 for like movies and like TV shows. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially superhero movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything sci-fi and stuff. Like, of course, they're not going to premiere the King's Speech trailer at Comic-Con. Maybe one day, something like that.
Maybe.
Something very serious. They're like,
The new Judi Dench film, maybe.
yeah, a new Spilberg flick. That'd be cool. But yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another one too. I think the first thing we need to talk about, probably the most prominent trailer. Of
Wait, hold on.
this
Is
past
this-
weekend.
Black Lightning, obvious.
I kind of remember a couple episodes. Is this something you maybe talk shit about in a couple episodes?
Probably.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to eat crow right now, and just say that out of all these trailers this weekend, I think we're all the most excited about Black Lightning. Right?
We are.
Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
It is. It's
No,
gonna
no,
be
no,
great.
No, it's like
Agents
about
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of
Oh,
S.H.I.E.L.D.
man.
I've never actually seen an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode.
Me either.
Yes?
No.
Okay.
No.
You know, I did
absolutely
hear in the
not.
early episodes, it did actually set up a little bit of the first Avengers because it had like Falcon and stuff in
Oh,
there.
really? Yeah, it did. Oh,
Yeah.
also, yeah, they had the. Oh, wait, we'll get into Marvel later. Let's talk about. And
we're
I'm
really
probably gonna,
thinking about,
Yeah,
come on.
I'm probably going to relinquish to this guy to my left right now. You're
Me.
right.
I mean, we've all seen it, so I mean,
Picard.
Picard.
What did you guys think of the Picard trailer?
It looks
What is your
Good.
first?
looks quality.
Does it look qual?
Yeah, looks super
Well,
qual to me.
after I
I'm not a
watched it
huge
about
Star Trek
5
fan.
times, and the morning after, when I was
After
done
you
wiping-
dried your what?
after the morning after I was done crying, my mind was fucking blown.
What do you think after you got done crying and wiping the tears from your eyes?
I watched it again so I could start crying again because that's how great I felt.
Yeah. First step, it's like a new song that you love. You got to just play it over and over and over, and then
Honestly, this is the most excited
can
I've
start
been
picking
for
it
a
apart.
TV series in fucking forever.
What made you so excited?
Everything about it. So it started off like, okay, as a whole, I love how they are finally progressing forward in the Star Trek timeline, something that's never been done before.
Mhm.
I love all the Easter eggs, like the comm badges.
Yeah,
Are
that
like
was cool.
like futuristic comm badges
was
that
cool.
have
That was
used in
cool.
like TNG and Voyager alike for future episodes have been those comm badges, which is awesome. So they're just like they are paying attention to the details.
I did get a little excited when I saw 7 of 9
Oh yes,
or 7 of Fine. is
7
what
of
I'm
Fine,
calling
yeah.
it.
She still looks good, man.
She still
I know
looks
what that
great.
means.
Yeah.
Hell
looks
yeah.
great.
So there's gonna be some very Borg orientated
Yeah.
episodes. Did you see
Borg.
in the? I think in the Romulan camp it said 5,380 days to last assimilation.
Oh, I didn't even
Which-
catch that.
Yeah, so
Is
which means
that-
it's in the trailer,
Ooh.
which means they're holding like a Borg camp.
Dang.
So I wonder if this is happening like right before the Romulan Empire like gets destroyed, because or the Romulan home planet, or like right at or like, or if it leads
Ooh,
to
good
the
point.
events.
Yeah. Because it's all canon, right? Everything.
Everything's canon.
Yeah.
So what happened in the Prime timeline sets off the Kelvin timeline. So, you know, we might see like why these events happened, you know, with maybe the Romulans experimenting on Borgs that made like the whole destroying their home planet and the Kelvin timeline coming together.
I got a weird Logan vibe almost too, like just from I know Patrick Stewart was also in Logan.
Yeah, a little.
But like with that, with whoever that's going to be.
It's a bit darker, a bit.
Well, do you think that's
highbrow.
because like Patrick Stewart is just like such a great actor now that like it almost kind of seems like
He demands excellence.
he's like a very good fine wine.
Yes.
Like just over age, he's just getting better and better.
He has to be served with a proper cheese.
I don't know if I wanted to
a
like
good
it,
bread.
but like he made me like it.
Yeah.
It's weird. He's just a very charming individual, pretty much. So I'm gonna watch whatever he's doing.
What I love about it is like
for God's sake.
even though and I love Chateau de Picard.
Chateau.
I was really hoping for a more of a story based on Chateau de Picard, but obviously they're going to go into space, and it's going to be very bombastic. I mean, it looks very it's more action packedy than I thought. It's more blockbustery.
That's what the trailer shows you.
I have a question. Do we know what's bringing him out of retirement yet?
Not
What's the event?
specifically. A girl, I guess, that could be very dangerous or dangerous to herself.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But you know, like what I love about the Chateau de Picard is there's 3 episodes in TNG to like that's his family vineyard, right?
Yeah.
And like he was supposed to inherit and run the family business, but he wanted to go to space. So him going back there was always a lot of scuff about. It was like, oh, you know, like why didn't you stay with the family? You went to space, and now he's finally running it. So it's kind of like a homage, is like, you know, maybe this is what I was always supposed to be doing. And then he goes into space later on, you know. So it's kind of cool.
That. Nah.
But
he went out there.
Also, what I really love about it
became
is
the
it's
best
very
damn
canon,
captain.
and they are like sticking with timelines. You know, like they're not erasing anything. What happened. You know, Data dying. Data
He died
died.
like the last episode. When does he die?
He died in the last movie, Nemesis.
Okay. Was that the final like?
That's the last time.
Picard.
Yeah, that's the last time
Last time you
TNG
saw.
cast has been, and that was what 15, 20 years ago.
Dang.
Close? Yeah.
Data looks
And they
great,
killed
by
off
the way.
Data.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. I think
That's
that's
heavy.
I think that's a holographic image.
Yeah.
Like he's in
I
like
would
the
imagine,
holodeck.
Yeah. Brett Spiner, do you think they did any effects on him? Is that just the way he looks?
Effects or makeup? No, or effects or makeup. He actually looks pretty good though. Like, you know, like with the makeup Data, it kind of demands, you know, the hairpiece and
Plus, if he's getting cast as an android, he probably has great skin as it is.
yeah.
That's true.
You want him to look artificial?
I just think the whole thing was great in my opinion.
Yeah,
LeVar Burton.
my first my first thought on it was that I was totally all in. My chips were all in. I'm like, here we go. Let's do
Yep.
this.
Are you finally turning into a fan?
I think so. Maybe I'm a little skeptical. What Alex Kurtzman? I'm not a big fan of Alex Kurtzman, who is like, I believe he's the showrunner of it. So we'll see what happens there.
One beer.
I don't know. It looks good. It does look good.
I do know.
I mean,
Patrick Stewart wouldn't sign off on crap though.
I'm more excited
sure.
for Picard than I am the new Star Wars, for sure.
Yeah. Rise of Skywalker. I'm expecting nothing.
First thing I thought of was like,
Which means it might be good.
I knew I kept my CBS All Access subscription for a reason. That's the first thing I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, it is doing it, man. Damn it! I was hoping that wouldn't happen.
Yeah. It's a little...
Oh, sorry.
That's part of the soundstage life, man. It's
Yep.
stuffy and
Yep.
hot.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's part of that life.
What do you want to see? What do you want from this from the show?
You know, I just really want to see the story progress.
You want to see more.
Yes,
You want to see world building.
I want to see what happened to Voyager's crew, like
Yeah.
after they
point.
came back.
Is
Good point.
You know, I want to see the timeline moving forward, which is happening. Like I want to see old Riker, old Deanna Troi, old Beverly Crusher. I want to see those relationships, like with him, like stepping down from Starfleet.
Everybody's showing up, right? I mean, maybe
LeVar
not,
Burton.
maybe not
Yeah.
this season, but
Yeah.
but
There's gonna be
obviously
3
it's gonna go,
seasons.
yeah.
There's gonna be
So
3
obviously
seasons.
everyone we're gonna
none of
see
them
everyone.
have anything better to do.
Jonathan
no offense
Frakes
to them,
is,
but they,
Jonathan Frakes is doing
gotta
directing 2 of them.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think we talked about that
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
how many episodes for the season?
I think it's gonna be like 10, and it's gonna be all one storyline, so it's not gonna be episodic. It's gonna-
Oh, that's the best.
Nice.
That's what I like.
Yep.
Yeah, from a complete noob standpoint, it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks fun and like interesting, and also, what's his name is Picard, Patrick Stewart. Like, I'm just so excited.
Have you watched any of the other Star Treks at all? Like
No, I can't get into them because I just can't get past like a lot of the effects and acting and stuff like that, which is like any show.
That's your downfall.
Yeah, it's my downfall. Like I would love to. My dad.
It's a young man thing. Honestly, it's a young man thing. Yeah, I get it.
My dad loves Star Trek and stuff, and I'm sure if I grew up with it, I would love it.
But John, it's kind of like that first beer you drank when you're 16. You had to learn to love it.
Yeah.
You watch a few episodes. You know, sometimes the first few seasons are a little rough to get through, but once you start getting into the character development and all the backstories and everything, you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
You start to get it.
When did Next Generation end? Like mid 90s?
Yeah, like 93. Yeah.
It's like almost like a weird jump too, just because it's so cinematic now. And before it was very syndication wise, like the quality of everything. Yeah.
Low budget.
Yeah, low budget.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Low budget.
It's a little low budget. See a guy in a suit like fight.
You know, I really believe like, and I really believe this. Star Trek is finally coming back to its own and like taking the top, man.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that remains to be seen. Let's see what happens.
I mean, you can make all the money in movies, but like true fans and new fans, man, this is where Star Trek needs to be.
Yeah.
It needs to be back here.
That said,
they're taking their spot in TV where they were always meant to be, and then they're gonna start bringing a new generation of Star Trek.
I'm surprised it took this long.
Oh, it's true. You're a big proponent of the new what is it, Star Trek
Discovery? Yeah,
right.
I really liked it. Season 3 is coming out after Picard.
Okay.
So,
I mean, we'll see what happens, right?
I liked it. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I thought it was great.
We'll see what happens after the new Star Wars comes out. We'll see how it goes.
Let's see if you even watch the new Star Wars, Eric.
Oh man,
probably. I won't be there opening day, but I'll be there.
My expectations are minimal, so I think it might be good. It might be acceptable to me if my expectations are low enough.
I feel the same way. I think like because I'm not in a hurry to go see it, and I don't really probably care that much, but I think because of that, I'm probably gonna be pretty loud.
You know what the problem was with the second one? They didn't. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking nuts. It's because they don't want people to know that. Yeah, the story is it just bogs out, and I know that's what they're gonna do. It's just gonna like. And that's the sound it's going to make at the end.
JJ was like, oh, the Picard trailer's coming out. Let's go ahead and give this one. Let's give him this one.
Let's give
it to him.
Right.
I'm sure.
And I think the main problem it was, like what you said, how they're continuing the plot and like world building and stuff is the last one didn't do any of that. Like the most memorable thing about Last Jedi was red sand. That's not very good. If the most interesting part was when those speeders are like scooting across everything. Everything else was all stuff that you've seen before, or just it's like boring or anything.
I think it was a salt planet. I think that's what it was. Salt planet.
All right, why are we talking about Star Wars? They weren't at Comic-Con.
They were not. They were not at Comic-Con.
But there's a lot of shows coming out.
You know, I honestly think, speaking of that, like to change the subject a little bit, is I think Star Wars does need that. It needs a TV series, a good one.
Yeah,
a good one to fill in the blanks.
Build up some lore, man.
Like exactly.
The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian's coming out. John Favreau, showrunner.
Yeah, because they shit away all those novels. They said that's all.
The difference between 50
then give me something.
50 years of Star Trek and 50 years of Star Wars is what? How much movies do you have? About 13.
9? Oh wait, no, there's a couple more.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
I think you're right. Yeah, maybe 13.
13 movies?
Probably. Around there.
All right, so in 50 years, 13 movies. 13 movies worth of lore.
Star Wars Christmas.
13
14
movies. All right, so in that 50 years, there's 13 Star Trek movies. But there's also a fucking, let's see, TOS, Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise,
there's a lot.
Animated series, which all had 7 seasons apiece pretty much. So 7 years, like How many episodes is that? You know, a fucking shit ton.
It's a shit ton.
I think it was
That is
mostly because
lore.
of George Lucas just having his fist of power around.
But I really do
everything
feel
Star
like
Wars.
if Star Wars would do a good TV series, like to fill in the blanks, you know, what happened in between this movie and this movie, or move it forward. What happened between fucking Empire Strikes Back and the whatever the first one was, the
New Hope.
the new first one. Episode 7,
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. Like what?
No, not Force Unleashed. That's
Force
the video game.
Awakens.
Force Awakens. Yeah.
Like so what happened in between there? Like they need TV series to fill in the blanks, like good TV series, not shitty ones.
And before they had thousands of books to do all that, and then when Disney bought them, they were just like, that's all gone.
Yeah.
So it used to have a super huge backstory and like expanded universe, but that's all gone now. So like Luke was never a badass, I guess. He never was known as the single most greatest Jedi who ever lived.
And that's a shame, man.
Nothing.
Because between Empire Strikes Back and The Force Awakens, the only thing you had with Luke Skywalker was the books.
Yeah.
And then with the books gone,
he's just this old man.
It's just an old man that's been sitting on his fucking lonely island.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Lonely Island. By the way, I love that band.
Yeah,
Next time
band.
they come around, we're gonna go see them live.
We have to.
But you know, like, so all of a sudden he's just an old man on his lonely island. And he's like,
trying to kill kids and shit.
you know,
Younglings.
He's like, this motherfucker's having a bad dream. Sad.
So
Picard all in.
Yeah, I'm all in.
All in.
I'm all in.
What about?
It looks good. It's like filmed in like
The next one I'm
9K,
so excited
8K.
about is Dark Fate, motherfuckers.
Oh,
New
Terminator.
What do you guys
yeah.
think about that shit?
Dude, I was so stoked. And I was skeptical at when I first started the trailer, and then I watched the trailer, and that all just faded away.
Yeah, I didn't even.
The action looks good. It's practical effects too. You have all these 80s tropes. Like, it seems they're really making it a true sequel to T2. Like, that is,
Yes.
I think this is going to be the true T3 that we really wanted. Like, T3 was okay.
The Rise of the Machines.
Yeah. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't as terrible as like the Christian Bale ones.
Yeah, Salvation. Yeah.
The super gray and brown fucking movies that they came out with.
Genesis wasn't very good.
Genesis.
No,
Oh my
Genesis was
god.
terrible, man.
That was awful. But I think this one's looking up.
Well, it's a true sequel, man. And what I love about it is James Cameron is like, all right, so everything that happened after T2 didn't actually happen.
Yeah, that's an alternate universe. So, and yeah, he can play with it however he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that
He can play with
trailer
my
and like
emotions all he wants. I'll take it.
what do they call that, John, when they have like a trailer, but it's also showing like behind the scenes? Just like a behind the scenes trailer, I guess.
This one was like a sneak peek, I guess. I don't know, like a
sneak peek.
Yeah, it was like what, like
BTS
3-4
behind
minutes
the
long.
scenes. Yeah, it was dope.
Dude, it was
It was
awesome,
like
man.
it was more of like a production demo kind of thing. Like,
dude.
see what we're actually doing here and get excited.
What I love about it is they look like there's still a lot of practical effects, which James Cameron loves to do.
Yeah, a lot of fire explosions, a lot of car chases and cars flipping, and
Yeah, you know, like you said, it's gonna be a true fucking sequel to T2, which I'm excited about. Edward Furlong, what do you guys think about Edward Furlong being in it?
I actually heard that he's going to be like a young Edward Furlong. They're actually they're gonna put his face on a young Edward Furlong.
I was wondering, like, how is he gonna lose that 120
just
pounds?
for like flashbacks and stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think John Connor's gonna be dead in this universe? Maybe.
I think they're gonna kill him. Yes, I do.
I mean, there's no fate of of what we
make.
What we make, so.
And they established, like, by going back in time in this particular, the Terminator universe, going back in time actually does
Nothing.
So if one John Connor dies, another one will arise.
I wasn't that
and it
excited
doesn't-
when I saw it, and then like they had like that little sting at the end of the trailer where Arnold shows up, and it's like it's an old Arnold, and I'm like, oh, and like I made up this whole thing in my head, like, oh, maybe this is going to be like the guy that they base the Terminators on, and like they go find him and stuff, and he's like the guy that created all this stuff. But then on that behind the scenes trailer, he has like his arms all blue screened out and stuff, so he's going to be like a Terminator. That kind of got me excited. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm curious about that.
Do you think he's the
like he can't be the T2 one?
Yeah, because he fell in the lava.
Lava and melted. I'm just
nah.
But could it be?
No, maybe.
Could it be?
I think he's a T. What is it? 400?
800.
T800 that's been sitting in a shed for a long time, and his hair just kind of like whittled away, and then they like Sarah Connor found him and like turned him on, and he's like.
Well,
I mean, maybe
shakes off the dust. I don't know.
I guess we don't know until we know. I'm sure it will become a lot of surprises.
I'm excited.
James Cameron, what I love about it is James Cameron seems fully invested in helping with this project.
Yeah, he actually owns the rights now.
Yeah.
That's why you've been seeing James Cameron, Terminator.
Yeah.
This is actually the first rated R Terminator since the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, the other ones were pussy ass PG-13.
Was T2 rated R?
Was rated R.
Oh, I didn't know that. They only killed 13 people in it? Are you sure T2 was rated R?
Oh, it was absolutely rated R. They stabbed the man, the stepdad in the fucking
remember,
face.
like the other Terminator only killed he actually didn't have any deaths. Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't kill anybody.
Oh, he killed people.
I'm sure
in the
it was
club
rated R.
when Sarah Connor's like sitting in the club, and he goes like,
that's
rated R, brother.
Was it? All right.
Yeah. So first, this is the first T2. Or this is the first
rated
R
R
Terminator.
Well, good. It should be rated R.
Yeah. Oh, and kids were saying shit.
Okay.
That's the thing. That'll make it rated R.
Back
Kids
then in the 90s.
They all said it back in
back in the 90s, it was a rated R rating was a little bit different than our rated R rating here in 2019.
Yeah,
you could
that's
have
an interesting
full-blown
topic that we should talk about.
Full frontal nudity for a little bit and still be PG-13. There is a certain amount of seconds where you could show a dick on TV or on a movie, and it'd still be 13.
These days, it's more about the emotional side. Like if shooting someone in the head, that's PG-13. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're like executing someone and you see their face and they're like, please don't, and like a Quentin Tarantino movie, and you shoot them and it's just kind of like this heinous, grotesque, inhuman activity. That's what really gets you the R-rated.
Yeah.
Not really the violence by itself.
Speaking of Quentin Tarantino, his new movie looks pretty interesting.
Oh my god, I want to see who said so bad.
Dude, though, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes long.
Really? Wow.
On a Quentin Tarantino movie, there's going to be
this is his second to last movie,
50-minute there's gonna be two guys talking at a pub for 40 fucking minutes.
Well, it's a Cinebar movie where you have to go to a place that serves drinks and hang out and
I don't think I can.
So this is his second to last movie though, right? Was he only supposed to do 9 movies or right?
Well, from what I hear is that the Star Trek movies that's actually going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. So is that going to be his last movie?
I think so.
Yeah.
His first established IP, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything else is all 100% original.
Well, he wants to make it rated R too.
I saw an article where he was talking about the Kelvin timeline with JJ.
Yeah.
And he was he's a huge fan of the original series. So he was
of course, came out in the 60s.
Yeah. He's like, I want to make this movie, but it's you have this established stuff. And I heard that the article that I saw, that JJ was like, well, just do whatever you want. Fucking nobody likes what we did, so just go and try it out.
Right, just go at it.
Yeah.
Just put your heart into it. Try and be a good fan.
So, but from what I understand, he's going to try. He wants to do a Star Trek movie with Zachary Quinto as Spock and
he's a great Spock. I'm with it.
And the Kirk guy.
And the Kirk guy.
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine, yeah.
The 5th Chris in the line of most famous Chris's.
And I'll be honest, I'm all in for that. I'm pretty excited. I think that would be a good one.
Usually,
why not?
All Quentin Tarantino is pretty good.
Yeah.
I love how all their movies kind of link together too. So it'd be really interesting to see the linkage between his last movie, which is this movie coming out here soon, and then the Star Trek.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood trailer looked amazing.
Yeah, I'm not a gigantic fan of his, but I'm very intrigued to see what he would do with an established IP.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like
in the Bound.
most of his movies are like a one watch.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
It was really good, well written. But
his
I don't
own
know.
kind of Tarantino universe.
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah.
just to have
Yeah.
like in those bounds and stuff. It'd be interesting.
You know,
Yeah.
that'd be a really
I
great
think so.
podcast. We should discuss and let us know what you guys think in the comments and all that, and on our Twitter at John Sandwich too.
We can talk about other directors and
Other
how
directors like
we could
like
put 'em in different-
Scorsese and stuff like that. We should.
get them out of their shell.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like, dude, imagine a Scorsese film. Scorsese doing like the Star Wars Rebels. How fucking cutthroat and
That'd be
intricate that story would be.
Wasn't there a rumor that Scorsese was supposed to be doing like he was rumored to be doing a sci-fi film or like a Batman film or something like that?
I think so.
Like-
Oh well, he's producing the Joker movie.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Which looks
Really good.
Phenomenal.
yeah.
From what I hear, there's like a lot of Oscar buzz about it. I think it's probably going to be
It looks real heavy too.
pretty fucking amazing. I
Yeah.
would
Like
say.
the whole angle with his mom.
Yeah, they say it's gonna be darker than The Dark Knight.
Yeah. Trailer was done very well.
Yeah.
Very excited to see it. Joaquin, of course, is a great actor.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, see what he does with it. I mean, it looks great.
Yeah. We've never really gotten origin story for the Joker. It's always been like mystery. His origin is just X.
Well, do you really
So
want an
arguably,
origin
yeah.
story?
Do you
though?
believe that the character
Absolutely.
works better without an origin story?
No. I don't think there's any. If you have a good enough origin story to give us, then I think it's fine.
So I think that's arguably about with the Dark Knight and stuff. That's what made that Heath Ledger portrayal more interesting, was that there was
Yeah, him lying
no
about
rhyme or
like how he
reason to it.
gets
Yeah.
the scars too. I
and
see
there was
that.
no rhyme
and
or
the
reason
great
to
thing
why
about
he did what he did, and
a great thing about comic books though is you can always just say like, "Oh, that's something else."
yeah, it's true. It's true.
Well,
So it's like
I
if
think maybe
you-
this is the.
It's like the killing. It's like the killing joke where like at the end, Joker tells Batman a joke and Batman just starts laughing super hard, and it's like just this weird thing, and then it ends. It's like I really, this also goes back to the new MCU movie that's coming out, but like I want to see those comic books where they just kind of like what if this happened. I want to see that on the big screen because they did that a lot in the comic book world, but you never really see that in the movie universe, and
Well,
I
sounds
think
like
that
Marvel's doing a what if.
yeah, they are doing a what if. And
Before
I'm
we
totally
get
stoked with
too
that.
far in the Marvel universe, I kind of feel like this is kind of a interesting with like on the topic of the Joker. Each iteration of the Joker is different in every single movie and comic book. So maybe
Yeah.
that's the joke itself, that the
Maybe.
Joker's origin always changes.
That's
no
super
matter,
meta.
Yeah.
It is.
Did you just make that connection right
I
now?
just did right now.
Nice.
That's what he's all about. There's never a sequel to the Joker.
No, there never is, and every single Joker changes.
That's true. Actually, yeah.
Jeez.
Dude,
You
we
heard
gotta-
it first on the John Sandwich Show.
It's exclusive.
John Sandwich exclusive.
You got to make a YouTube video of that,
We should.
explaining all that. Have you guys seen that YouTube channel, Every Frame a Painting? Really good. You should check it out.
Oh, well.
This guy has these amazing video essays on film.
What's it called?
Dude,
Every Frame a Painting.
I love those video essays, man.
Yeah, they're good. I love the time that people put into them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's amazing.
Have you ever?
I'm glad they're out there.
I watched a lot of Windover Productions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're a good one.
Mm-hmm.
If you like travel and logistics and stuff like that, it's fun.
One thing we did bring up in a couple of podcasts ago is would Avengers Endgame defeat Avatar? Obviously, we're talking about James Cameron here.
Did it?
And
It did.
what does that mean?
Did we have any doubt though?
What does that mean?
That means superheroes are gonna be around for at least 5 more years.
Yeah, it's true.
It means James Cameron's gonna work extra hard on Avatar 2.
I would imagine.
What if he just like dumps all that and he comes out with a superhero movie?
I don't think because it's coming out of theaters now, so I don't think it's going to.
So what if James Cameron re-releases?
He's going to re-release it in right before Avatar 2,
which it will in return
it'll take it back for sure. Because I think we're it's only ahead of it by like a couple $1 million.
So is James Cameron playing super coy? He's like, oh, you sunk the Titanic. Oh, good job. I got you, fuckers. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
I got you.
Wait.
Once
I get this seed money from this Terminator movie,
I think James Cameron did a little hair tussle and he's like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Hold my beer.
Oh, your first place.
Oh,
that's adorable.
Archie special. Gave a little pinch on the cheek.
Oh, and you're a whole company. I'm one man. They have. That's crazy too. The whole of Disney versus the one man who was I'm gonna build a fucking submarine.
Yeah.
And go get.
Disney
footage.
owns Avatar and Avengers now, so I guess they're the real winners here.
They are the real winners, man. He doesn't own Avatar 1 though. He doesn't. Disney does not own the record to Avatar 1.
Oh, that's true.
That would be Fox, But I mean, it's not about studios. It's about
putting out that art, man. It's about art.
But do you find it interesting? So I'll say that later. Do you find it interesting that whenever we talk about Avengers or another movie dethroning James Cameron, is we always talk about the movie first? It was like, oh, this movie will dethrone James Cameron. But whatever movie James Cameron has directed, we talk about the movie like James Cameron is the movie. So it's not, you're not dethroning the Titanic, you're dethroning James Cameron.
Yes, that's what.
That's what it's all about.
It's very interesting.
Because he's very.
Because it's not like, oh, the Russo brothers just defeated James Cameron. And no, Avatar defeated James Cameron.
He's very eccentric. He's very vocal. He's a guy that you want to beat for sure.
But is he?
But I think he is. As an actual person, I think he is. As an actual person, I could see me hanging out with James Cameron and me walking away being like, oh, that guy's kind of a douchebag. But
he's like a true billionaire.
He's a genius, though. He doesn't do bad movies.
Do you feel like you think he's a douchebag because...
personality-wise, I think he is. But I've never met him, so I don't know. I could be totally wrong on this. It's just something I feel in my heart.
As long as he takes me in his sub.
Yeah, exactly. He's never taken me on his sub to see the Titanic, so until he does, he's a douchebag. I'm sorry.
But Disney allowed the Russo brothers. They're like, I will bestow upon you this directing gig. James Cameron is like, I'm taking this. I'm gonna build this ship and I'm gonna sail it.
Well, it's because James Cameron has authority. James Cameron's like, all right, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
If you don't like what I'm going to do, I'm going to go somewhere else and do it.
I mean,
where Disney gave permission to the Russo brothers, do whatever you want. James Cameron's like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, right? James
out of my way.
Did it on a totally original IP. Well,
all of his
okay, yeah.
All of his
art direction is original.
All of his IPs are original.
Yes.
He doesn't do it. Yeah.
To be fair, there's no super original story.
Yeah.
It is very much like a lot of movies.
But it's definitely not Batman or or Iron Man.
What other movie do you have ponytail, fucking brainstem, little...
Yeah.
When you take a step back...
the concepts are very, very original.
Yeah. Unobtainium is not the best name.
Not the best name at all. But apparently it is.
Great guy,
it's just
great
something
movie.
that you... Yeah, it's...
I mean, Terminator was original IP.
Yeah, Terminator was, and it's great.
And everyone always references Skynet.
Was Terminator ever the T2 anyway? Was that ever the top grossing movie of all time?
No.
Okay.
It might have been for it might have been for
what did
rated
Titanic
R.
dethrone?
It might have been for rated R. Titanic dethroned Gone with the Wind, I think.
Did it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google it.
Which was in the record books for 60 years.
Titanic?
No,
or Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind.
Oh yeah. It was super high grossing.
Yeah.
Also really expensive.
Yeah. Well, when you break it down, I am pretty sure that if you were to, as far as butts and seats, Titanic still holds the title. Gone with the Wind still holds the title.
Yeah, because that
butts
was.
and seats?
I think that was.
I don't know if butts
I
and
heard a
seats.
statistic that it was in theaters for 3 years.
Yeah.
something crazy like that.
It just kept going and going and going.
Because they didn't have as many movies and people weren't.
Well, they also didn't have
just
as
kept
much.
it around.
They also didn't have as much theaters. Like you have to look at even the Titanic 20 years ago. 20 years ago, yeah, 20 years.
There's probably a third
30
of.
Is that 30 years ago?
Titanic?
20 years ago.
98.
It came out in 99.
99.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
20 years ago. 20 years ago, there was only 2,500 to 3,000 theaters that it played in.
Yeah.
Now, it's almost 5,000 theaters in the United States alone.
Yeah, in China you have 30,000 alone.
See, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Should we really be counting worldwide box office though? Shouldn't it be all domestic?
How so?
I mean, sure, it probably should be.
I mean, because I don't know.
If you want to know how well it is or how good it's gonna be when you watch it, I think you should more look at domestic because they're probably gonna fit your taste a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at worldwide box office, you see a lot of movies sometimes perfect example is Aquaman.
Yeah.
Made a fuckload of money.
Well, so did Terminator Genesis.
Terminator Genesis too. Not really in the United States though. And when you watch it as Americans, we deemed both of those movies not very good. But
Jurassic
they
Park
killed in China.
Top grossing movie before Titanic.
Oh, was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic Park 2?
First.
First one? That came out in 93 though.
Yeah. Did James Cameron do that one too? Oh, I didn't know that. So what was before that?
I think it was before. There's a whole thing and stuff so when back in the day when a movie would dethrone the other movie, they would put an article in Variety. Every director would congratulating the other. So I think it was
They'd jerk each other off.
It was E.T. I don't know what beat E.T., but E.T. was one of them. And then I guess it was Jurassic Park that got it. And then Avatar beat Jurassic Park.
So pretty much Steven Spielberg and James Cameron have the fucking throne on the highest grossing movies. Yeah. Especially in the 80s and 90s.
Steven Spielberg, genius, man.
He really is, man.
I think he's tired these days, though. He's not putting out as many movies.
He still puts the quality work, but he just doesn't do blockbusters like he used to.
Yeah, and he doesn't really direct.
I don't know if he
executive produces.
Yeah. I don't know if he wants to. I don't know if he's into it.
I think he's too busy playing the top down worldwide field. He's not interested in making individual movies, but influencing entire studios to make a bunch of
He is a genius influencer. I remember getting out of Saving Private Ryan and I wanted to join the army. I was like, oh my God. This is great.
Right. That came out at the perfect time, too.
I need to join the army. This is amazing.
Didn't he do the Ready Player One too? Executive produced that.
He directed
I think he directed that.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
It did have a lot of Spielbergisms.
Just
Kids yelling.
Maybe since Minority Report. I don't know. I don't know what he did before that, but I think he's lost a little bit of his
War Horse.
War Horse.
I don't know anything else. He did some other ones. Oh, he did War of the Worlds.
See, yeah.
Was that him?
Yeah, that was him. Has those oneers.
I think
those long shots where it's just the same.
I think Tom Cruise ruined his career. That's what I think. He got influenced Tom Cruise, and then fucking it was just the end.
Speaking of Tom Cruise,
how cool would he be in the MCU?
Segue into
Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick.
Speaking of that guy,
looks really good. I was a big Top Gun fan.
So he lives at the end of Top Gun.
Yes, he does.
Because the end, if you don't know, audience, the end of Top Gun ends with him flying into enemy territory or something like that, and he's about to have a dogfight for the first time, right?
Oh, yes.
And then it ends. He survived.
Top Gun was actually my first...
He didn't die.
That was my first foray into pirating.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
My uncle brought over Top Gun and his VCR, and we had our VCR, and he totally made us a copy of it. We were watching that.
Nice.
We could plug VCR into VCR and totally did it. Oh my God.
He was like hacker genius.
Hacker genius. I was like, future's now.
So Top Gun Maverick.
In my mind, I was like, what?
What do you guys actually think about it?
I will see it.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun,
I
dun,
probably
dun,
won't
dun.
see it in theaters, but I will watch it when it comes out on something.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it when it comes out on something. Or
Yeah, because like,
what?
You gonna pirate?
huh?
No, I don't pirate.
One thing-
I totally disagree with pirating.
I do too. I mean, it really takes money out of the executives' pockets, and
I was having a quick story. I was having a work lunch, and this guy was talking about how he loves movies and how he bootlegs all of the movies that he can think of. Like, he just sees a movie and he bootlegs it like immediately, and he pays this server somewhere to house his like 10 terabytes
a criminal.
of movies. And we go home after the lunch and everything, and I wake up the next morning and I look at my email, and he's like, just so you guys know, because like my boss's boss was there and shit, and he sends out an email to everyone, including that boss guy, just so you know, I was just joking about bootlegging. I pay for all my movies, just so you know.
So I have this.
Disclaimer, I don't steal thousands of dollars from studios every day.
You guys fell for it.
I was just joking.
Weird.
I was joking.
What a weirdo.
Yeah.
All right.
I just mentioned my podcast, and he was like, "Oh,
So I have this
podcast?
really.
I'm like,
that too.
yeah.
So I. And then I
Whoa,
did this,
my
and then
God.
Frostwire,
What?
Pirate Bay, yeah."
They'll never let us talk about that again.
no, but I do have like 5,000 movies on my server.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Bought and paid for.
Bought and paid for, and then I linked one of my other buddies' servers on to my server, which he also bought and paid for a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Dang.
Porno,
we're-
nice.
Porns.
all that porno, dude. You don't
All
need to
those porns.
dude. You don't need to download porno. It's free now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Just don't click the ads.
Though the monthly subscription can be useful.
All right, so Top Gun. All right,
I
Top
do
Gun.
Amazon, but like I'm a little bit of afraid because I think
You Amazon porn?
yeah, I Amazon all my porn.
Ooh.
No, like I do all my movies on Amazon, so I buy them. I'm legit. I'm totally legit. I buy them all.
Oh yeah, all of us too.
And then I found out they don't really own them.
No.
Really, because like they can. I think I brought this up before too. We bought that movie It, and then there was an issue with the license where I bought it and then just took it off my fucking
Did they
library.
refund you?
They ended up, yes, they did.
See, I
But-
don't like that, man.
Actually, reading just stuff on forums online, they don't always do that. So I was just like lucky enough to be refunded.
Wow.
Well, so that's why you buy the physical copy and then you just download it to your computer.
Right. Tough.
No, it is tough
So
because
before
like
it, I was like all in on digital. I was like, yes, let's do digital. It's easy. I can stream stuff. I have Frontier internet, which is great.
yeah. I also
Every now and again it goes down though.
it does, dude. You know, I have Frontier and it is great, and every now and again it does
Go down. And then what do you do when it goes down? You can't. If you want to watch something, you can't.
Yeah. So back to what was I talking about? What are you talking about?
Dude, you should get Microsoft, buy your movies on Microsoft. Like, I was so surprised I logged in on my Xbox account, and for the first time in like 4 fucking years on my Xbox One, and it had the episodes of I don't know if you remember the show The Guild.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That I bought like in fucking like 2012, and
With
it still
what's her
had that. I
face?
was like, good for you, Microsoft. That's not bad. Still have my episodes. An episode of Code Monkeys in there too. The old Devil May Cry series that came out. And I was like, nice.
Well, so like Voodoo
Still
just
on
went
there. I
down.
got it.
Voodoo just went down, and they're like, "Oh, you can still watch your videos." So what I don't like about buying from other services is you don't have it in one place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I
Have to
like
log
me,
in.
I like to buy the movie,
Yeah, you
download
like
it
to-
to my computer, and put it on my
space.
put it on my
Fill the
Plex
space.
server.
Yeah, you just want it everywhere. You know.
You know, no, I have it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day we're gonna AT&T or like Time Warner or DirecTV is gonna come out with some like aggregator for all of those, and we're gonna be back to square one with channels. It's gonna be Amazon channel, Netflix channel.
Our work is coming out with a streaming
Microsoft.
service, and I won't say where we work.
Maybe you shouldn't dive too far into the streaming service because it will probably
It's gonna fail.
Backfire.
It's gonna fail totally.
It's gonna go great. It's gonna go great.
No,
well, before I mute the channel, I already know it's not going to go great because I've already lost 1 million subscribers.
yeah.
What are you talking about?
All right, so not muting the channel. Changing
I don't know
the
what you're
subject.
talking about.
right.
Oh,
All right.
for sure.
All right.
Let me see. So, Dark Crystal, Jim Henson IP. I'm excited. That's gonna be great. I love Jim Henson. He's like anything he makes just makes me feel good.
This has been in the running for a few years now, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I saw like a studio demo a couple years ago about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I did a little while ago too and stuff, but it looks really good.
I have the original movie on DVD. It's good.
We'll make a confession to you guys. I've never seen the original Dark Crystal.
Oh, really?
Never.
Dude, it's a masterpiece in his puppeteering.
Yeah. I've seen Labyrinth and stuff. Like
Labyrinth is great.
Yeah, it's very
Labyrinth's
similar.
great, yeah. So I imagine it's a lot like that. So, but I'm all in. Like it looks
I
great.
watched you, baby. Crying hard as baby could cry.
We're about to get
No
flagged.
one knows.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace,
It's one of the songs I wanted to cover as a band.
Dave.
David Bowes.
So is it? Are they sticking true and doing all puppeteer stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, they better.
They
I'm
better?
sure there's going to be like some CGI, but like Kermit the Frog riding a bicycle, you have to CGI that. That's impossible on the puppeteering.
They did it before, man. Looked
Yeah, I
great.
know.
Looked great.
You remember when you saw Kermit riding the bicycle? You were like,
I was like,
what?
how?
How you doing that? That's impossible.
Where you going, Kermit? It's great.
Yeah, I think it's going to be along those lines.
That'll be good, man.
No, I love Jim Henson. I love all of his projects are so like his post hominis projects, of course, but are always like charity related, and anything that has his name on it is going to be like super positive. Really cool,
one thing. Let me cut.
business wise.
Let me cut into this real quick. This has I don't know if we can segue from Jim Henson to this, but
It's fine.
I think we can. I think I know where you're going.
If you believe.
there is a movie coming out called Welcome to My Neighborhood.
I knew you were going
Really?
there.
Did you know
I
that?
Knew, I
Did you
knew
know?
it. I knew it. And I'm excited you brought it
Same
up, my
time
friend.
frame.
Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers.
Hello, neighbor.
Have you seen the trailer?
Yeah.
And what did
Yes.
you guys think?
I think it's going to be a very heartwarming tale, very similar to Nanny. What's her name? The Nanny, British lady.
Fran Drescher from The
Yep.
Nanny?
Yeah, the Nanny.
No, the Saving
Mary Poppins.
Yeah. Oh yes.
There we go. I couldn't remember Mary Poppins.
It looks fucking good, right?
I think that's going to be a theater movie.
I mean, yeah,
For sure.
totally, for sure. And that's like an Academy Award winner, and
Yep.
that's just that's the way it's gonna go.
That's what Tom Hanks does these days. You know? But
I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and she's like, "Oh, he's like too Tom Hanks, where I can't really see him." But I'm like, who else do you get to play Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
Yeah, who else is so
Nobody.
positive
Right.
that has a spotless record?
It's like perfect,
yeah.
and yeah, it looks amazing.
You know, I'm really, really curious and excited about this backstory based on a true story. Like I'm really curious, like how Mr. Rogers shaped this.
This guy's life. Oh, I'm sure he shaped so many lives.
Oh
That's what
yeah,
I'm
he
saying.
shaped my life, dude. I remember watching
for sure,
Mr.
yes, of
Dude,
course.
did you know? All
Won't you
right.
be my
So speaking
neighbor?
of Mr. Rogers,
Feeding
so
the fish now.
back in like the 50s and 60s, they used to have like segregated pools,
Mm-hmm.
and Mr. Rogers got on his show got in the same pool with a black man, dipped their toes in the feet, a
Oh
police
yes,
officer.
yes,
Yes.
I saw that.
You know, so like
Above all, he was a police
like,
officer too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So he's just like, it's boundaries, man. He's crossing those boundaries, and
Mr. Rogers doesn't believe in boundaries.
he doesn't.
Yeah, and his show wasn't a bunch of loud bullshit.
No, it's just about like feeling your own emotions and like being nice to one another and being
living your
neighbors.
life too.
And uplifting people and educating people. And
when you get home, you shed your work clothes and get into your Sunday slippers and your Sunday cardigan, and you relax.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't ask myself, what would Mr. Rogers do, really, in this situation?
It'd be a good tattoo.
Yeah. What would Fred Rogers do?
What would Fred do?
No, dude,
apparently
that was an
he was
amazing
a
trailer.
super nice guy in real life too. There's nothing that.
Well, the thing is, he was on PBS, the public broadcast station.
Yeah, which is
and
public. Yeah.
Yeah, everything he did was it was himself. Like it was self-produced. And he was on air for like 40 fucking years, man. You know,
did it for the love, man.
And he didn't do it for the money.
Spreading the love.
You know, he did it for exactly what you said, man. Doing it for the love. That's awesome. That was a sad day.
Yes,
when
Need to submit his name for sainthood.
Yes.
They really do, man. That guy was a saint.
What are you more excited to see, the Mr. Rogers movie or Picard? Who'd win in a fight, Mr. Rogers or Picard?
Mr. Rogers would.
Stewart's still alive.
If Picard was so angry that he would force violence upon someone, which in itself is a stretch, Picard would not be violent towards such a person. But if he was, I feel like Fred Rogers would talk the man down, and there would be no fights.
Or Patrick Stewart would talk.
Or Patrick Stewart would just beat
They
the
would just
shit
probably
out of
talk
him,
to each other, have an Earl Grey hot. Earl Grey hot.
They just discuss.
And just discuss their problems.
Yeah, and they'd both come out of it better human beings.
You'd be like, hello, neighbor. He'd be like, make it so.
It would be a win on both sides.
Yeah.
Somehow. It wouldn't be a tie, but a win on both sides.
I'm just sad that this Picard show's not going to be Pinot with Picard. Very sad about it.
So it's just going to be him sitting in his chair.
Yeah, I was hoping that we're
telling stories
to the like we were talking about last podcast with the it just be a talk show, Wine with Picard. You know,
He opens letters from viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Public, what is it? Public access.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We just opened this.
Welcome back to Pinot with Picard.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
Welcome back to Pinot with Picard. So there is on a different, totally different stretch vibe is the Jay and Silent Bob Reloaded. Did you guys watch that?
I did.
I did not.
I was. Oh,
is this a sequel or what?
Yeah, John's not a very big Kevin Smith fan.
Yeah, I love him.
Okay, yeah, he does.
Oh, you're not a big Kevin Smith fan?
No.
Yeah, I just never got into him. And like my mom is a cop and my dad is like
a scientist,
a rocket
and
stuff.
scientist.
So like Kevin Smith movies didn't really resonate with me.
You don't have time for that tomfoolery.
Yeah, hooligans, not a chance. I'm not gonna associate with such frivolity.
The most exciting part about that trailer for me was I was like, holy fuck, is that Val Kilmer?
Yeah, I know, right? He's going to be in Top Gun too, by the way.
Is he?
Yeah.
I think you're out of battery, my friend.
Am I? Is it turning red?
Yeah, it turned red, but it has plenty of juice in there. Like, what the heck? Oh.
Never mind.
Got you guys.
Oh, that's pretty.
I can't wait to choke.
It looks good.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Jay and
I
Silent
just said
Bob.
yeah. Oh, yeah, Jay and Silent Bob. So, Kevin Smith with all the the two dudes.
Yep. Two dudes. It has Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. It's pretty much, they're bringing back pretty much all their mall rats. Like everybody, the whole Kevin Smith universe is coming back for this, which is really awesome.
I'm a big, I used to be like a big proponent of the whole Kevin Smith lore. Because they have all the podcasts and stuff, and I was like,
he's a great podcaster, great presenter. I totally agree with that.
So it was actually really exciting to see that Ben Affleck was back. Because, seemed like there was a falling out there, but now he's like back on the thing. It's amazing.
It's very amazing.
He's got nothing to do anymore.
Yeah. He's not Batman anymore.
He was like, "Fuck you, Kevin. I'm doing Batman." don't need you anymore.
No,
Comes crawling back.
Robert Pattinson's Batman. And he's like, "Hey, kid."
Well, after Ben
What's
Affleck,
going on, my friend?
he lost
Old
Batman,
buddy.
lost his wife. He has nothing left,
Yeah.
man.
Poor guy, man.
Poor guy. Yeah.
That's hard.
Which
He
is
did
so
it to
sad
himself.
too,
Come on
because
now.
he wasn't that bad of a Batman either. Like they just didn't give him
He
much
wasn't
to
that
work
good,
with.
though.
He wasn't that good either. But arguably, he was a pretty good Batman, I would say, right? No.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of? No,
I think he was
obviously-
the fattest Batman I've ever seen.
Obviously, the movies were trash, but he was.
Why did
like-
you say that name?
Why did you say that? Martha, must save Martha. Oh my! It was horrible.
And his like gooey upper lip from having a mustache.
Mm-hmm.
How did they make an upper lip look like it's made of goo? How do you do that? Like, he was just standing there and his frame is just...
It was pretty wacky.
But seeing Mission Impossible Fallout, I was like, you made the right choice, Henry. You should have kept that mustache and you
Yo,
made the
for
right
sure.
choice because that movie was fucking great. That was good.
They don't make bad Mission Impossible.
You know, I haven't watched that one yet.
You haven't?
You
Oh, that's so
should.
good.
It's fucking good.
It's so fucking.
Is it really?
I was
It
really
is.
surprised.
I
And plus,
wasn't.
it's all like
They're all
practical
good.
stunts, and Tom Cruise is out there like doing the craziest
I
shit.
watched 3 and 4. I haven't watched the new one yet.
3 and 4. Are
See
fucking
the new
boss.
trailer for it, for the new Mission Impossible. Or
Is
no,
there another one already coming out?
or was it Top Gun where he's like landing in the? Seeing
was it
him
we were
landing
in
in
a
the jet, I
plane?
thought it was Mission
Mission
Impossible
Impossible?
for a second
Oh,
because it was like
that's what I
actually
was gonna
him
get
in a
to.
No,
jet.
you accidentally saw.
So I was going to eventually, like, I guess we're double backing about 20 minutes to Top Gun. Does it look like your new age, like just a regular Tom Cruise movie now? The Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah.
Because, like, we all know what Tom Cruise movies are now.
He's gonna be running. He's gonna be pumping.
You know, like, obviously the original Top
He's gonna
Gun
be
was
doing
very
some
early in his
original
career. Now it's just
stunts.
like, oh, it's Tom Cruise. It's a Tom Cruise
is
movie.
pretty much a genre unto itself.
Yes. So
Yeah.
so is the new Top Gun Maverick just a Tom Cruise genre movie?
Yes, probably.
I heard he finances his own movies so he can do the stunts himself.
Yeah, because
Because
they won't-
studios will never let him
Yeah.
do it. Which makes sense because like he did a jump and he broke his fucking ankle and
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Well, that one on
They have a
like-
video of it too. It looks horrible. You can actually
Yeah.
see it snap. It's crazy.
well, that
and he
one where he's
gets up
like
and
on the
limps and then,
plane,
like perfect.
like on the plane on Mission Impossible 4, I think. Like that's actually
Where he's
him.
holding on. Yeah,
That's actually him on the plane.
yeah.
And I
He's
heard
a
he almost
fucking
died on
maniac.
that.
It's crazy though. I don't know if you guys ever seen the making of. I think it's Mission Impossible 3.
Mm-hmm.
So he does that jump, and then his fucking his ankle breaks,
Yeah.
and then he gets down on his knees and he prays to Lord Xenu, and then like his bone like starts to like it starts to get like it just snaps.
You see this
back into
blue
the thing.
shimmer
Yeah, and
and
like it heals itself. I mean, God, there's something to it. I guess
he paid the $100,000 to watch that one video that told him all how to do that.
Yes, it's amazing.
Dude, you
That's
know
what
we
you
should
get
do?
with tier or like level 20.
Dude, you know what we should do on this podcast? Because I'm about ready to bring up Scientology right now.
Let's do it.
We should do tabloids, like you know those crazy tabloids you see
Oh,
in the
yeah,
grocery
for sure.
stores.
BuzzFeed shit.
Because I just saw on a tabloid,
Bat Boy.
John Travolta does Scientology ritual to bring back his son.
What?
We're getting dark territory.
That's hard.
That's what the tabloid said.
Wow, that's ow. I wonder how he feels about such a
The
thing.
Jet Travolta, right? The dying.
I mean, it is, but like, do you think that's something that's like he's actually kind
Death.
of doing? Like, how accurate do you think those tabloids are? I mean, because one time I was like, "Oh, this person has cancer," blah blah blah.
Even
and
if you
everyone
did
was like,
do that,
"No,
that's a
no,
sad
no,"
thing
and
to
all of a
say.
sudden they die of cancer.
They used to be better back in my day. There was like Bat Boys.
Oh yeah, I remember that shit. Yeah, I remember Batboy.
Man
Exactly.
fuses
Yeah.
child with
Yes,
fly.
Exactly, right?
That was the whole
Brindle Fly. They were a lot
plot
more creative
to
back in the
Men in Black.
Was it really?
Yeah, remember how Tommy Lee Jones would like look at the tabloids? He's like, "Nah, this is the real shit, man.
right.
This is the alien shit, alien
right.
news that we need to hear."
Now you just look at the
That's fucked
tabloids
up,
when you're
though.
at the supermarket and it's just like fucking who broke up with who. Back in the day, it was like, oh my god, there's like a transsexual vampire.
All right. Every week, every week
there.
before the podcast, I'm gonna buy one of those tabloids.
Buy an
shit,
Encore,
yes.
I
buy
will.
a Star magazine.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna buy
walk
one of
through
them.
it.
I'm just gonna buy one of them. I'm not gonna spend my money on too much.
Yeah, we'll just flip through it and read read the news.
Weekly World News. I think that's
World News.
Yeah, it's the one.
This week,
Jennifer Gardner is not with Ben Affleck still.
Jennifer Gardner's
That's the kind of
a
shit they're
reptile lady.
that's the kind of shit they've been pulling on that like old stuff like Brad Pitt and Angelina.
Hold on, John's leaving. Hold on, wait till it shuts the door. Okay, this fucking Picard show looks like a piece of fucking shit.
It looks
I
like
don't
shit, honestly. To be very honest, it looks like shit. I didn't want to say that in
I don't
front
want
of
to say it in
John,
front of John.
but
So,
that'll be good to
it
watch
doesn't look too bad.
or
For
listen
sure,
to.
for sure. Let me
But-
see what else we have on this list here.
Watchmen.
Watchmen. What do
We're
you
getting another chance at some blue dick.
What is it? What is this Watchmen?
Have you seen
I've seen the movie. I've seen the movie. I've read the
So-
comic book.
It's about
Is this like more based off of After Watchmen, the comic that came out recently?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's just the
'Cause I don't know
graphic
if it's the
novel
original
just
It's
story.
like it's like an add-on to that, right? Like it's not
Is
the
it really?
same story. That's what I heard.
If
There's gonna be
Rorschach
no
is
Dr. Manhattan, there's gonna be no Rorschach,
oh,
no Silk.
Why would I watch it
Spectre.
then?
Yeah, right. I don't know.
if I'm not seeing some blue dick, what am I even going
I mean,
there
there's a
for? Plus
definitely-
Rorschach,
There's a lapse of
he's
blue
my
dick in
favorite
life.
short ginger guy.
For sure, yeah. For sure he is. There seems to be like I saw the last trailer and it's like a cult of Rorschachs, I think. There's like a bunch of people with the potato
impossible
sacks.
mask
yes,
thing.
The impossible mask. Yeah. So I don't know. Might be good. We'll see.
I don't know enough about it to really say. I sort of like the
I think
new
it's
Watchmen
more of like an
or the old
epilogue
Watchmen
to
movie.
the old Watchmen movie. I think it's like it's dovetailing off of that. I don't think it's the same story.
Okay.
Is what I heard. No
Well,
blue dick.
Man, like, what am I even gonna go there for? Fucking Mr.
I mean,
Owl.
If you want blue
Owl
dick,
Man?
I
Who's
will give
Owl
you blue
Man?
dick. If you want blue dick, I'll give you blue dick
Yeah,
till the cows come home.
we'll have an episode. Yeah. I didn't really like Watchmen. I feel like the movie that what's his name did was just too sex oriented.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah, Zack Snyder. It's like,
Well, let's delve into that a little bit.
okay, I don't need a fucking sex scene every few minutes after nothing happened.
Are you guys pretty well versed in Snyder? Really? Have you guys seen Dawn of the Dead?
Snyderverse. Yes,
I've seen Dawn of the
Have you
Dead.
guys seen 300?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Batman versus v Superman? Dawn of Justice.
I saw that
The
one.
Justice League.
Ugh,
I think he also made Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch was interesting.
This Snyder-
Had a
So-
lot of very, may I say, fit
is Zack
ladies.
Snyder a good director?
I think he's getting Michael Bay credibility right now.
Like as far as Michael Bay that he's being shit on?
Like Michael Bay, as in he only knows how to do one thing good, and that is like he has really good
Yeah.
effects. Like on the movie looks great,
Yeah.
but other than that, everything else is shit.
I mean, he doesn't
Yeah.
write it.
I mean, do you ever talk about Michael Bay except for what's Michael Bay's thing?
Explosions.
Explosions and huge switchbacks. All right, all right.
Yeah, cut.
Explosion, cut, explosion.
Very sunny area. Everyone's sweating.
Yeah. So Zack Snyder's like
Slow motion.
visually-
America is awesome.
Slow motion pans around your main character while there's explosions going around.
Yeah.
all around.
Yeah. The American military is the absolute good guy.
Although I will say, I think it's Michael Bay too. One of my favorite movies of all time is fucking Con Air with Nicolas
yeah.
Cage. That
Oh,
movie's
yeah.
so great.
That's a great movie.
It is great.
Doesn't
Sure,
he
remake
have
that
like
shit.
that Tennessee accent in that one?
Oh, Nicolas Cage and Hummingbird. Yeah, totally. Steve Buscemi, though, I think steals the show in that movie. He plays like a crazy serial killer type.
Yeah. And he befriends a young girl. You think he's going to kill her, but he's like,
doesn't. He just,
let's have tea. I love tea.
Yeah. So good. In a better movie, that would have been your movie right there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good touch. Michael Bay, good job.
Yeah, but I'm not crazy about Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Right.
Not super crazy.
Right. I mean,
giving him the keys
I like the
to
visuals,
the
though.
potential $1 billion, I feel like you went for a very niche director for Batman v Superman. Like, you should have gotten someone who has experience making movies that a lot of people see. And that's really what you wanted to kick off a universe like they wanted, but they're like, let's get this niche guy who only adult men like, because he made like 300.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, I kind of feel like
maybe should have gone with
maybe
someone
if he had
else.
better writers, and maybe he had too much
he doesn't
control.
write his own stuff. It's just just directs them. He doesn't write them.
You know, maybe if he had like better writers, I think it would have been good. Because like having like the visuals of like 300 with like a Batman, that makes sense.
300 was
for sure.
great visual wise and stuff, but it was dovetailing off of Sin City. Sin City already came out.
So
before
Sin
that.
City, like I would love to see a Batman in Sin City universe.
Oh, that would be sweet.
That's Robert Rodriguez, right?
Yeah, that was Robert Rodriguez.
And that would kind of fit because the Batman animated series was the first and maybe only series that the animators actually animated on black background instead of a white background like every other one does. Like, it's really dark. It's very Sin City-like already. Like, even before Sin City came out, the animated series of Batman was doing stuff like that. So you're right, and I can see why they chose him, but
I mean,
the writers
cool, like,
maybe kind of, they were like, we need to make it Marvel. We need to have some comedy
To
in there.
segue back into Comic-Con, one of the big things was releasing the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Does that really make any fucking difference at all? Like, to see the Snyder Cut of Justice League, is it going to be any better than what we got?
But like visually, when you watch the Justice League, like how was it visually? Like, let's just say you turn off the sound, you're just watching the movie.
Pretty good. I think I wasn't crazy about the Flash's movements just because he doesn't do anything.
I do
all.
remember like the trailer of like Batman v Superman.
They do look like comic book
the
movies, for
trailer
sure.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
His suit, super cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super cool. Superman being one of the things I will give it, which might be akin to Christopher Nolan because he made Man of Steel and like his people, is how heavy Superman and like all the strong characters feel, and how like
Well, I think that's what
a lot of people complained about Man of Steel, how they just like kind of launch into places and they don't stop and they just keep moving. I feel like that's how superheroes would fight. It would be like this super intense, like they're moving miles away at a split second. Like they're superhuman.
Well, I almost kind of feel like that's
And I feel like that would work.
a detriment too, because like you had like Christopher Nolan like almost transitioning into this new DC universe with Man of Steel, and some people hated it, some people liked it. It was a little bit more real. No, and that's fine.
I thought it very
But the thing is, it didn't go through the whole universe. Like I feel like if you would have like kept with that, like we'd be talking about something a little bit different right now. You know, instead we're jumping around with like different universes and different feelings and different color tones, and you know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Justice League, they really backpedaled and they're like, we got to make this more bright and cheery and shit, and it just kind of fell through.
No, I'm pretty sure we talked about this on like podcast 3 or 4. You know,
Yeah.
it's one of those.
Yeah,
things.
we've been down this road.
we have been down this road a lot, which is fine because you know we all are we love Batman.
Well, I think
We loved
really,
the Justice League. We watched the series.
really passionate about Batman. And does it work? Does Batman even work in a extended universe? Like,
No,
is that where the fault lies? Like,
Without just leaving him behind.
Well, you know the thing is,
does a
like,
Batman even? Do you need a Batman in a universe where Superman exists?
no.
It doesn't make any sense, really.
Well, I've always hated Superman though. Superman has always been one of my most hated comic book characters ever. I don't like him. Like even reading the books, it's like okay, can't defeat your enemy. You have his new superpower that can defeat your enemy. At least with Batman, though, like, he invents that superpower.
Yeah. And I still think that there's a good way to do a good Superman movie, though. Like, in terms of Superman's not about all the people he can save. I think the real power behind that is the people that he can't. So I would say, like, what was done really well with, like, Richard Donner when the original 70s movies and stuff. One good line was that when Pa Kent died and stuff, and Superman couldn't save him, and he delivers that line where he's like, all these gifts that I've been given, all these powers, and I couldn't save him because he had a heart attack. Like, I couldn't do anything. Like, I think that's where the real story of Superman lies, and I think that's what you really have to attack, like the people Superman can't save.
That's why I'm really interested in, good segue, into the new Marvel universe on how they put on Captain Marvel, because they can make or break Captain Marvel with pretty much that sentiment right there. Because Captain Marvel is pretty much the Superman of the Marvel universe. She could do anything, do everything. I really liked how in Endgame she was very non-existent, but she's gonna be more prevalent in the new movies.
Yep.
So I'm really curious to see how they portray her and, like, her faults and her failings on not being able to save everybody. And I think, like, Marvel is a studio that could do Superman very well.
Yeah.
You know, just like
You should probably just give Marvel Superman. Really.
Yeah, just Superman.
You should have DC should just give Marvel their properties.
Just give it to
Marvel
Disney.
Yeah.
So, like, Captain Marvel, like, they will probably do really good things to make it an emotional connection and to make it good to where, like, you have all these superpowers, but there's stakes and there's risks and rewards with these superpowers. But, like, everything I've ever seen from DC so far is there's been all rewards. Like, Superman has died and come back from the dead and saved everybody.
Yeah.
You know, like, what are those risks? Why do I keep reading? Why do I keep watching Superman movies when that happens? I know it's going to happen. You know, like, maybe every now and again, like, maybe you should, okay, so your adopted father dies in every single iteration of Superman. Is that enough?
Yeah.
Like, you need more.
Yeah.
I think
that's what I liked about Man of Steel is it actually did do that. They're flying in the movie. They're flying through these fucking skyscrapers of buildings and killing thousands of people. And that's what they did in Batman v Superman. Batman's pissed off because literally thousands of people died in his little, like, battle that he had in Man of Steel. That
made sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going. But that did make sense.
It does make sense.
I feel like they didn't follow through on it, though.
Yeah, they didn't expand on it, like the whole thing where, like, Batman gives it up because he says Martha.
Because
come on.
I'll be honest. I saw Man of Steel, and it was just such an excessive piece of shit movie where I tuned out. There's so much fucking going on around me where I can't even remember the movie at all, really. Like, there was just
I just remember some people flying through some buildings.
It was a celebration of excess. There was just so much shit going on all around me. I mean, I guess it was great. I don't know. I have no idea. And I was just like, why? Like, this is so not Superman. And I totally get that you're trying to upgrade Superman to a new generation and stuff, but it almost makes me sad. Like, is this really where we're at? That this has to be what a Superman movie is.
But the thing is, like, where do you take a Superman movie? Like, what do you do?
Well, here's where I thought it was genius.
All right.
Here's where I thought the whole thing was genius was when I first saw the first Batman v Superman trailer. Mm-hmm. So they had the buildings tumbling over, and they had Bruce Wayne there, what John was talking about, and they had him, like, rushing into the thing. Like, that fucking makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, in a world where you have this uncheckable fucking godlike person and stuff like that, not taking any, like, I was like, man, they're not, like, really taking any account of all these people that are dying. Like, this is like 9/11 times 1,000. Like, there are more people dying than anything else in this whole thing. Like, this doesn't make any sense. But when I saw that Batman v Superman trailer, I was like, well, it does kind of make sense because you're building up the story where a Batman type person has to come put this person in check.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they followed through with that storyline at all.
Yeah.
Like it felt like that was like your way. I think what they should have done is there is a comic book storyline, also a video game too, the Injustice, Gods Among Us, where Superman is actually becomes the villain. Mm-hmm. I thought that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
But then they did. Then Martha showed up and like, Martha, and like they just fucking abandoned it all. I think that the only way to make Superman work is to make him a villain. I think.
Well, you have to make him an anti-hero.
Yeah. But it's like tough, right? Because they have like the Batman v Superman, and you have Superman in there, and he's like, oh, like this guy. Superman, like in the first couple minutes of Batman v Superman's like, you can't, this Batman individual is like killing people and stuff. Fucking Superman killed like 9 or 10 people before the movie even started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, it really doesn't.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I wasn't a
in
fan
movies,
of the films.
if you can't, when you have an extended universe like they wanted to have, you can't just throw in details that you're not going to come back to or, like, fit in later on.
What I was getting at too, like when you went to the bathroom right now, is that you brought this up too, is that the Man of Steel did not make sense to me until that trailer, and then you saw Bruce Wayne like running into the ashes of Metropolis and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
things started to make sense to me.
Right. Yeah.
But they didn't follow through on any of that stuff, is my argument.
Yeah, the whole thing about like we're doing what we're doing, but still innocents are dying.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the angle that DC could have gone for.
Yes.
That is different from Marvel, where it's like
My point that I was making earlier is like
sometimes
in
you
a world
can't
where there is a
win
Superman,
100%.
You don't need a Batman.
Yeah.
But if there is like this unchecked guy where like people are dying everywhere, and you have that Bruce Wayne just running into the shit trying to stop things, Stone Cold Steve Austin stop.
Yeah.
Here he comes. Then yes, you do need a Batman. I thought that's what we were going for, but they just totally they ruined it.
They kind of just dropped it and made it a spectacle.
Yes. It could have been great.
Yeah, it really could have.
And that's why they got my money, because I was like, this might be good.
Yeah.
And they got my money.
They Star Wars did.
Oh.
They Star Wars did. They didn't show anything we wanted and everything that we didn't.
And they keep doing it too. Like with the Suicide Squad, those trailers look pretty good too. I was like, oh, this might be good. Like it sounds like, oh,
and they don't expand anything.
Yeah. The Joker's going to be the big bad, and like that makes sense that these people were going to come out. But then like they have these, like in this world where like they're like, oh, you need to like stop these like big supernatural fucking things. You know, they had like this what's the Empress or whatever the hell her name
whatever
was.
the fuck her name is.
Why
Who
would you
cares?
need a Harley Quinn to go fight this like that's not gonna work,
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
The thing is, you have to make it like somewhat realistic, at least with like Thanos. You know, he's a fucking titan, and like that wouldn't work.
First off, we've all seen Justice League, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen Justice League?
That
Yeah,
wouldn't
the
work.
Steppenwolf, right?
Steppenwolf
was like the big bad. Yeah,
Or I thought that
wouldn't feel
was
bad
Wonder
if
Woman.
I wouldn't feel bad if you didn't remember who this character was. There was like no contest between what they did with Thanos against this fucking, oh my god, what you can do with a CGI character. Like you figure, like when I saw that Justice League and I saw the Steppenwolf, and I'm like, oh well, he's CG. Like what can you do? Fucking Thanos was a fucking like well-developed character, done perfectly.
Yep.
I mean, there's no excuse anymore.
Well,
Like,
that and they brought the baddie. They took 10 years to make that baddie.
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking Doomsday, man. How long did they take to kill Doomsday?
are we talking about the Batman movie?
Yeah.
Like 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
It took fucking Marvel 10 years to get to Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
That's
been
the
sending
fucking problem.
armies and yeah.
The fucking bill.
Nice.
Dude, DC's just bullshit.
DC blew their load, man.
That said, though, Marvel just they have their lightning in a bottle right now.
All right, you know what? Let's
Easily.
talk a little bit about Marvel.
Let's talk about Marvel.
Let's
A
talk
little
about
bit.
Marvel.
Because we
Endgame.
haven't been talking.
The biggest movie
Sort
of
of
all
about 'em.
time, Endgame. So good.
There's gonna be a new Hawkeye movie. There's gonna be
Can you bring up the
Falcon
list so we can talk about
or no
it?
Hawkeye series. There's gonna be a Falcon movie where he's new Captain America. And you, Eric, do you remember when we were at that Comic-Con, Ace Comic-Con, where Tom Holland was telling what's his name, Falcon, that like, oh yeah, you don't have a movie. I feel like he already knew about that movie and was just
like,
giving
this
him
is the
shit
rib.
like, hey,
This
they
is
don't
the
know
rib.
about it
They
yet.
don't know about that move.
So you may have seen that video at Ace Comic-Con where Tom Holland tells the actor who plays Falcon, I don't remember his name, like, oh sorry, you don't have a movie. Yeah, Anthony Mackie. Oh sorry, you don't have a movie, and everyone's like, ooh. I always thought like that was kind of a dick move, Mr. Tom. But
he probably knew the shit was
I'm
coming.
sure he probably already knew that they were thinking about making him the new Captain America, which was why he put out he stabbed him right in his chest with that comment in front of hundreds of thousands of people.
I'm kind of really
Hundreds of thousands.
excited about it. Like what you brought up was with the what ifs and stuff, that what if whole thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen the new Spider-Man Far From Home. It does delve into a little bit of the multiverse.
Yes.
And then also the new Doctor Strange film that they announced is Doctor Strange
Multiverse, like Danger in the Multiverse, something. Yeah, Madness of the Multiverse.
The first fucking Marvel horror film. And it has fucking sexy ass Elizabeth Olsen in there. My God,
Is she sexy ass?
I think she's
Elizabeth
pretty sexy
Olsen?
ass. I don't know. I really like that Elizabeth Olsen. I don't know why.
Now, if you like her, that's fine.
And America likes her.
I'm glad she's famous because I kind of like subliminally hate the other Olsen twins. So I'm like, you go,
there-
girl.
I almost forgot.
Third Olsen.
There are other
Fuck those
Olsens.
other two.
There are other Olsens, aren't there?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
those fucking twins
Yeah,
who were
Full
in
House.
those movies.
Full House.
Yeah,
Shit.
Full House too.
So let's see what we got here.
Fuck
Here we
them,
go.
girl.
I'm the most excited about
Loki.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
And it looks like Loki's title is of different fonts and different timelines. I think that's also going to be a very big multiverse movie.
I saw a screenshot of him. It looked like he was in the 70s at one point. So I think it's just going to be a fun little series.
Black Widow dead, but since they're coming out with the movie, do you think that's going to be an alternate timeline where maybe perhaps Hawkeye killed themselves, or maybe it's a prequel? I don't know.
Perhaps, maybe. David
And then-
Harbour is going to be in Black Widow as well, and friggin' from Stranger Things fame.
Yep. Multiverse of Madness,
Buster,
obviously multiverse stuff I'm going to be into. Blade,
Eternals.
I have something to say about
Eternals.
Blade.
Are they actually making that into a Marvel like?
Yes, but it's not going to have Wesley Snipes
Yeah.
because everyone's pissed about not having Wesley Snipes, but I think it's good because he's a total diva. I saw this one GIF on Reddit about how they had to actually CGI eyes on Wesley Snipes because in one of the scenes he refused to open his eyes because he just didn't want to. So they CGI'd his eyes and it looks fucking horrible. Mm-hmm. But apparently he's a total diva, which is why they didn't want to bring him back for Blade.
I heard, what's his name? Marcella Ali? Is that his name?
I don't really mind. Yeah, Marcella Ali is going to be the new Blade, which I'm totally down for.
I heard that they tried to bring him on for Moon Knight, which is pretty much Marvel's Batman.
That's LA Batman.
Yeah. but
His Moon Knight.
he demanded to be Blade, and they're like, okay, go ahead, fucking do it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm most excited for Thor: Love and Thunder.
I am too. It looks fucking.
Mhm.
Obviously, Ragnarok. They have the same people back doing that one. I mean,
Same director. What's his name?
It's gonna be gold.
Fuck you, Ghost. Or fuck off, Ghost. No, piss off, Ghost.
Piss off, Ghost.
So do you think without Captain
What is
America,
that? Eggs? Looks like eggs.
without Captain America and
gonna get out of here,
Iron
man.
Man?
Oh, and by the way, this is the reason why I'm so excited about it is that Jeff Goldblum tweeted Thor: Love and Thunder, which I'm pretty sure that means that he's back, and I am totally on board for that.
All right, yeah, dude, yeah.
Yes,
He's,
as
Grandmaster.
the Grandmaster.
do you think the Marvel Cinematic Universe could survive without Captain America
It's
and
tough.
Iron Man?
Yes, yes.
That's
yes.
kind of what
They have a $5 billion dollars to blow right now.
okay,
I've
like,
been worried about it.
when I say that, I mean it successfully to where every movie has a meaning. Every movie's good,
Right?
you know,
Just as far as like superhero fatigue
and
in
every
general.
and every movie has like the same type of intrigue. We're like, no, we're starting Phase 4, so we've already spent 10 years watching these movies to find to finally get to the final conclusion. Now we have to. How long do we have to spend? You know, now we're starting a new phase. You know,
So what
new
movie-
storylines.
What movie is not on this list is another Spider-Man movie. Can I tell you guys
Well,
about my Spider-Man
that is technically part of
experience?
Phase 3, though. That is still
Yeah.
technically part of
for
Phase
sure.
3.
Can I tell you about my Spider-Man experience?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's no third Spider-Man movie on here. So I'm saying.
Well, it's because it's still part of Phase 3.
Yeah.
That's like the new Spider-Man is pretty much wrapping up
Yes.
the old storyline, so it is not
Yeah.
technically part of Phase 4.
Epilogue.
And it
kind
left
of
with a
thing.
huge cliffhanger. Have you guys seen it yet?
No.
Okay, so go. Do you guys don't mind spoilers?
No, spoiler.
Spoil right now. If you haven't seen Far From Home, please stop listening now.
Stop listening.
Skip.
Go ahead and skip to this timestamp.
Or just keep listening. That way you don't have to watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
What happens at the end?
So, it's a pretty straightforward film. What I liked about it the most is that one of my fears about this whole where we just wrapped up this huge storyline with Endgame, right? It's like bigger than any one movie. It's huge.
Yeah.
That's kind
It
of
is
what,
the biggest movie.
yes. That's kind of what's, and it's like, who's going to take over after this? Like, how do you keep going? That is exactly what this new Spider-Man movie is about. It's like Peter's like Spider-Man, Peter Parker. If you didn't know, that's the character is Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard that before. but
Oh.
Peter Parks. Okay.
That's his real name?
Yeah, that's what his name is. So it's kind of like him not being able to take up that mantle is what the whole storyline's about. Like he doesn't feel like he's big enough to do it and stuff, and like he's like self-doubting. And I will say this actor is just so fucking charming.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland, that he does suck you in. You're just like, okay, like I'm in. Like you got this. You got this, kid. I'm rooting for you. You're good. You got this. And at the very end of it, you find out that the scrolls from Captain Marvel are around, and they're like the scrolls from Captain. I don't know if you guys seen
The
Captain Marvel.
shapeshifters, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
there, and you
Okay.
find out that they've been there this whole time. I won't tell you who's been a shapeshifter. Also, another thing. Oh, so they delve into the multiverse too, which is fucking Doctor Strange multiverse of madness. That they're when Thanos did the snap, it like fucking it multiverse shit out in there and shit out into the world. Fucking yeah, universes have been mixed up and stuff. It makes it seem like this new whole thing is going to be really good, man. I think. Like,
Yeah.
fucking, I think they can really do something here. Also, fucking J. Jonah Jameson. I don't know if this is multiverse style, but J. Jonah Jameson, from fucking Sam Raimi Spider-Man, shows up.
Oh,
In this film.
J.K. Simmons?
J.K. Simmons shows up,
Nice.
and he is J.K. Simmons from Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and he is there, and it's fucking amazing. That was like,
Dude, I would love a
I was
Sam
like,
Raimi Spider-Man.
"Squee." Like fucking, if you show me like one of these movies where fucking Tobey Maguire Spider-Man shows up, I'm gonna shit my fucking pants.
Or that one actor who played Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. He's also a perfect Doc Ock too.
Oh, for sure.
If they brought back Doc Ock, then they should bring back.
Well, the thing is with the Raimi Spider-Mans, they were like spot on in casting, except for
who?
Except for.
Don't you dare say it. Who?
Are you saying?
Are you saying it's not perfection?
You better not.
For,
you better not. I think I know where you're going for. I think I know what
Topher
you're gonna
Grace.
say. No.
Then yes.
Sorry,
What were you gonna say? Topher Grace.
Topher Grace.
Okay, yeah. Then okay.
He might have
cool.
been miscast.
Okay. I thought you were going somewhere just maddening.
No,
I thought you were going somewhere crazy. Okay, yes.
Have you guys seen Venom?
Yeah, I saw Venom. It was okay.
How odd is fucking Tom Hardy's voice in that movie? Like, what accent is he going for in that? It's fucking weird.
I don't know what accent he's going
He's going for a Bane, but like a less serious Bane. Just
Is he? Like, what is it?
neither here nor there. I guess it makes it sell better in China. I don't know.
It takes place in San Francisco, right? Is that a San Francisco accent?
No, dude, no.
No, there's no such thing.
The from Seattle to LA has the same West Coast
Right?
accent. Yeah.
He's like, I need to pay my rent.
Yeah, it's weird, dude.
It's just nothing.
It is so like
It's not British or American.
Well, the thing
it's
is,
just nothing.
I can't get past it. It's like off-putting.
Well,
That whole movie.
it's kind of like Christian Bale trying
It's
to be
like
an
if
American.
you met a Russian sleeper agent.
yeah, right.
Well, the thing is, I think Tom Hardy's actually like Austrian
Is he Austrian? I thought he was English.
or English, but it's like Christian Bale trying to do an American accent. You have to go like this to be a Batman.
You have to.
This is my American accent.
Can he be trusted? Swear to me. I love that movie. I watched it recently. I love it.
Do you feel
give
like
a
every
shit.
Batman, the reason that they're going like their crazy voices is because their noses are always plugged like this, and they have
Yeah,
to be
because they have
super
the
aggressive.
they
Yeah.
have the mask on. Yeah, I think so.
Favorite superhero movie of all time?
Dark Knight.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah. Everyone's
good, right?
favorite superhero movie is so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It is good.
I was watching that recently, and I realized how really made it was in the editing process.
Yes.
It was very much made as good as it was because of the editing. Because there's like a lot of dialogue that surprisingly doesn't really pan out. Like you think they're gonna go somewhere with this thing, or like the way Batman fights. I feel like they were trying to put more. I was watching this like literally 2 days ago, and just the way Batman fights, like his fight style, like they were going to put more emphasis on like his training, but the editor was like, it's not gonna flow as well. So
Do you think that?
they really just like cut all that out.
Well, do you think that also happened, like with the editor and cutting all that out and doing all that stuff, is because they had a plan for movie 3, but Heath Ledger died?
I think so. Yeah, I think
that's
You know,
about right.
so
That's
they
what
kind of
happened.
wanted to wrap it up a little bit. They're like, okay, so we had this plan, we had the way we shot it, but the way we shot it doesn't work because we're not going to recast the Joker. So now we
Yeah.
have to kind of
I
move things
heard
along.
that,
I heard back in the
Joker was
day.
supposed to be a part of the third movie.
Yes, I absolutely.
Yeah,
heard
back
that
in the
too.
day, there was a lot of talk about when Heath Ledger died that there was going to be like a third Dark Knight movie that was almost completely scrapped because of his death. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that came out like very long time ago.
So what I love about the Dark Knight is it still holds up today. Actually, like the whole trilogy, I will say the whole trilogy,
It does.
I love
Still
the Dark
hold-
Knight Rises.
like
We've seen the whole trilogy in one sitting.
we have.
We have.
That, I think, Batman Begins kind of started the whole MCU thing, because writers and directors were like, you know what, maybe the whole realistic, semi-realistic
Semi-real.
persona of the superhero is the way to go. It makes it more what's the word?
Relatable?
Yeah, relatable. More thought provoking. You can imagine someone actually doing that, and I think that made a huge difference. And that's what really got the whole Iron Man movie off the ground, was that it wasn't comic book Tony Stark where he has like unlimited technology, he lives in a gigantic castle of a building and stuff like that, but he started out like making it in a cave and stuff. It was realistic. And
what I will say about
really
Tony Stark and Iron Man MCU is, before like the movies, Iron Man and Tony Stark were an afterthought and a shit character.
Yeah, just like you didn't care about that dude.
It was a B run.
It was
Totally.
a B run.
But when you add that realistic aspect to it, it's suddenly like
And also,
a sci-fi kind of.
honestly, just the charm of Robert Downey Jr. Like, friggin' he
For
does
sure,
make
that
that
too.
role. He does make that role.
Yeah. Without Robbie Downer Jr., like there's no Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to have a charismatic guy to fit that charismatic thing. Same with Bruce Wayne, you know, like you can't just have anybody.
I mean, you know, like maybe that's the problem with Batman, is like we haven't had like that one solid actor to play Batman for countless movies and countless cameos. Like that's why
they tried to put Ben Affleck into that, and obviously it didn't work.
Well, like Ben Affleck's like 20 years too late, because we've already had like how much iterations of Batman before him.
Do you feel like Robert Pattinson's got this?
I think he could. The more I thought about it, I was more intrigued, because he does kind of like his real life kind of fits the whole Batman thing. Like,
it's an interesting choice for sure.
You know, maybe you need someone that's like controversial and larger than life, and you know, like
Heath Ledger was controversial with the Joker.
For sure. And
you know, like I will say this.
It's different enough to work. I would say.
I will say this. I'm not gonna judge it until I see it.
Yeah.
Like I learned my lessons from judging I judged Heath Ledger bad until I saw that first trailer.
Yeah, because he came off of Brokeback Mountain and like some other chick flicks, and
Brokeback Mountain. Like,
why would you choose that guy? But he turns out he's a very serious actor.
Yeah.
And I think Robert Pattinson.
Like 10 Things I Hate About You, and like The Knight's Tale and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
If you imagine like a person that got very rich at a young age and maybe wanted to do something more with that, you could imagine Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Like he did Twilight, became a huge hit overnight, and became obscenely rich and was a heartthrob to many people, very Bruce Wayne style, but maybe wants to like do something a little more serious. I feel like Batman's the perfect one for him. I think it would be good.
Everything I've been hearing is really good. Like as far as the whole, they're gonna try to do like more of a rogues gallery, so it won't be just one villain. Will be like a. I feel like maybe they're probably going kind of like in the same Arkham Asylum vein, and I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah,
I heard
definitely worked.
I heard like 4 villains in this movie. So
4 villains.
Yeah, it might be fun. We'll see.
Yeah, I feel like he's also
crazy.
young.
Like, I kind of feel like we were kind of almost talking about this, and then just like of course it announced, and they were just like, oh, you know what? Maybe he could be good.
Yeah, I was skeptical at first, and then the more I thought about it, I was like, maybe he could, because he's very stoic, not very emotional.
Why not? He looks like a Bruce
Wayne isn't very emotional, you know? Like, unless he's acting like he should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless the mission requires him to be very, like, outgoing and stuff, he's going to be outgoing. But if it doesn't, he's going to be very stoic, solitude and stuff. I feel like he fits. He fits that character.
I like that they're giving up the whole...
Plus, he has a strong chin. It'll look good under that cowl.
Chin. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I think it'll be okay.
I like that they're giving up the whole...
Take some risks.
Yeah, I like they're giving up the whole expanded universe thing. I think tell more personal, individual stories. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. Take your time on the movies, you know? Like Batman versus Superman is, of course, the prime example. Is like don't push your extended universe so hard. Like really nurture your first character there.
And be true to the characters
Have
themselves.
someone very relatable that people can be like, you know, that's like me. That's like me.
You don't need a Batman if it's like you have the Joker there and then Superman can just fucking raiding them.
Push him super hard and he's dead.
Yeah.
He exploded
Doesn't make any
into
sense.
a red mist.
Well, who's directing the next Batman movie?
Matt Reeves from he did
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great trilogy.
Yeah, it's good.
Segueing, I don't think we have it on our notes, but Lion King
Oh yeah.
My
Lion
daughter
King
saw Lion King the other night.
was
She
kind
did
of an
not like
upset
it.
when it comes to the box office and ratings. I was expecting very high ratings.
Did it not do well?
It didn't do very well.
Actually,
a lot of people
It
didn't.
broke records.
It broke records, but a lot of people were saying that the emoting of the animals were really lacking. Like you have this very Shakespearean tale that's very emotional, very serious, and
I heard they tried to do too much like planet Earth wise, like realness.
Yeah, like it's hard to look at a real life lion, and although the animation is beautiful and very true to life, it's hard to get that lion to emote the way you want to because it looks so realistic.
Honestly, I feel like they released it too early. They should have released this during Christmas time.
Yeah, the 3 movies in 2 quarters.
I mean, because
yeah,
you
it's
had
very crazy.
Well, you have to think. You had Avengers Endgame, you had Aladdin, you had Toy Story, you had Lion King. Spread that shit out a little bit. Like
For
that.
sure.
That was all happening in what, 2 months?
Yeah.
yeah,
spread it
first
out.
quarter, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like spread it out. Like I think some of those should have been some Christmas movies right there.
You
I know
remember
Star
when-
Wars is kind of revert. Like Star Wars is coming out this year, right?
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
Christmas.
December.
Yeah, Christmas.
It does come out.
You know, I guess they don't want to compete with like themselves, but like, come on, spread that shit out, man. Like, I think Toy Story needed more love. I also think like Lion King needed more love, and Aladdin. Even though Aladdin, like from what I heard, was not as great as it should be. Like, spread that shit out. Like, don't like release it like within the first couple months of each other.
Yeah. I really hope that the new Star Wars does something good.
Yeah,
You better hope so, or else Picard's
So I
just
have
gonna
to eat
take
some
that,
shit.
or else Picard's gonna be drinking that in his Earl Grey.
I'm gonna use the bathroom. Feel free to talk shit about Star Wars while I'm gone.
Oh, I will.
Fuck Star Wars.
John, you might as well use the bathroom too, so I could talk shit about you too.
I'll just listen to you. What do you hate about Star Wars?
What do I hate? You know, that is a good question. What do I hate about Star Wars? You know what I hate about Star Wars is, so as a kid growing up, everyone had like this big vision, and like everyone looked at Star Wars as like this big like spectacle and phenomenon that they were watching. And like when I watched it, I was like, I don't get it. I see bad videography, I see bad cinematonics, I see everything that I saw about it was terrible, like visual wise.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And then like the story never captivated me. Like,
yeah, you explode a fucking Death Star.
Yeah, and that's it.
It's done.
And
yeah.
it, you know, it's like,
it's not saving the whales.
no, it's not saving the whales. It is not fucking traveling deep space or anything. Like it just never captivated me in a way that it's captivated other people. And through my years, the story's just kind of been the same. Honestly, like it's been the same story for the last 40, 50 years. It hasn't changed. Like honestly, then when they rebooted the series with The Force Awakens, it's been the same series. It's the same. It was the same as A New Hope, and honestly, it hasn't changed. And in my opinion, it's
what a
shit
letdown
series.
that the sequel movies were when they were destroying another giant round space station.
Exactly.
I was like, Well,
Same story.
we've done this, like literally 3 other times, but I guess another time is fine.
Yeah, it's just never captivated me. Like there was no new story. Like okay, so I watched all three Star Wars, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, that's it. So you did some cool things. You kissed your sister. That's cool. All right, whatever.
Always got to bring up the kissing sister.
And the fucking teddy bears that everyone hates.
All right, I get it. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect series by any stretch of the imagination.
No series is perfect,
Yeah,
but come on, like let's. I think we're.
Why do the stormtroopers have armor if they can get killed by fucking rocks and sticks?
and
by
that
the fucking
and like
Teletubbies?
their guns are so inaccurate, it's not even funny.
Well, it's proven
Yeah.
the way the mask is that you can't really see.
I was thinking about the sequels
and the way
lately.
I'm sorry, and like growing older, and the way they warp. The way
they warp in Star
no,
Wars?
they don't.
light speed.
They don't. But the way that they're all of a sudden, like when they go into their super fast speed, whatever that is, what is it called?
Light speed.
Light speed. All of a sudden they could go fucking. Oh wait, how many parsecs? Like fucking 180,000 parsecs
12
a second.
parsecs. In less
12
than 12 parsecs.
12 parsecs and less than this and that. That is so astronomically incorrect. It's not even funny. You could get from here to the center of the galaxy in 12 fucking or 14 seconds. But yet in the real world, going warp 9.95, which is 9.5 faster than the speed of light, it would still take us fucking like
50 years to get over there.
50 years plus.
It's not about the science. It's about how cool it looks when the stars go. That's what it's about.
John's like, shut the fuck up.
Does Star Trek have that?
To the podcast viewers, yeah, Star Trek does have that. It's called warp. And the stars go just like they fucking stole that from Star Trek. The warping of the warping of stars like that.
Who warped first?
And by the way,
first?
honestly, like the warping of stars like that, and let's not get into science. That's just they're both wrong on that venture. But
It's about the visual, not about what it would actually look
Star Trek did that first, man. We're going to warp speed.
60s, yeah. I think it was first.
Do you know one of the main writers for the first?
I looked it up, and Warp Tour started in 1995.
Did you know one of the original writers for Star Trek got hired for the first movie of Star Wars?
Did
Really?
it really?
Yeah.
Not surprised.
Came up in the world, I guess.
Yeah. Stole the ideas.
Small screen to big screen.
Yep. Sometimes you have to leave. Sometimes when you get older, you have to put away childish things.
I guess so. You know what's funny is like every time, like as the years go by, whenever we talk about Star Wars and Star Trek, and like you guys know, we have been talking on this podcast for 21 episodes in almost 2 years.
Yeah.
About Star Trek and Star Wars, and you see the demeanor on Eric's face every single year that Star Trek comes out with something really amazing, and Star Wars just kind of starts to fail. The look on his face. Do they? Just because
They do.
Oh, do they?
Honestly, they do.
Yeah. How about you? And you give me that answer. Do they fail? As a Star Wars fan. No, Star Wars. As a fan, is Star Wars failing the fans?
Yes, they are. But
Point made.
Yeah, this newest
could be better.
Star Wars is like everything you
But
didn't
it's
want to
not.
I could see how it could be done better.
But it's not.
They haven't hit recently,
But it's not.
but they can.
But it's not.
But they can't read.
You know what they need to do? They need to do a dark side movie.
You know what they
Give me
need to
the
do?
cool stuff, man.
Yeah.
Give me the cool
You know
dark
what they
side
need?
powers.
You know
Give me
what
the
they need to do?
powers.
They need to take 5-10 years off, realize that Star Trek is the king of the fucking Star universe,
Well,
take a seat, and fucking come back later.
Yeah, I think they're
as they should have done
in the sequels.
60s.
They were too afraid to do anything.
A New Hope had nothing on their TOS. Nothing.
Okay.
They had the models. They had the models to go around.
What's the second Star Wars movie?
Industrial Light and Magic.
Are you talking about the?
That's the only good thing that's come out of Star Wars is Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah, it's true.
George Lucas is a fucking production company, not a movie company. He doesn't give a shit about Star Wars. The only thing he is about is Lucasfilms.
You don't get to Toy
Industrial Light
Story
and
without Star Wars. So arguably,
bullshit.
what has come about out of all this is that so many other stories have been able to be told because of Star Wars.
You don't get
There was no ILM.
Ooh, that's a.
There was no
it's
ILM.
a hard one to beat.
There's no ILM without Star Wars. Sorry.
It's true.
I'm sorry.
There's no ILM without Star Trek.
No, it's not true.
No, it's not true.
No, it's not true.
There's no cell phones without Star Trek. There's no moon lander because of Star Trek.
Is there not?
No.
I might.
Listen to all these.
I might have to see some paperwork on that.
Listen to all these NASA scientists. Like, yeah, I based my research around Star Trek.
Well,
Gene Roddenberry.
as far as things that matter, like movies, there is no.
Let's talk about things that matter, like
Let's talk about things
movies.
that matter, like movies.
Not space travel.
Yeah, sci-fi
Not
fantasy.
politics.
You don't
Shut
get
up.
there without Star Wars.
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't.
All right.
I'll agree that
You
they
guys
are
let me know.
influential
You guys let me know.
Pixar
in the
all
comments.
came out of fucking Lucasfilm. Fucking so
Actually,
much shit
Pixar
else
came out because of Steve Jobs.
but it started with Lucasfilm. Sorry, it did. I don't know if you ever seen the documentary. It did. Sorry.
Documentary was wrong.
Sorry.
It's hard to go anywhere with animation without mentioning Industrial Light.
Hold on. That is true.
They came out with the first Pixar computers in which they did these effects, which started with Star Wars, branched out, became the Pixar company, and then now we have Pixar. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you don't.
Are you sure that's not Steve Jobs and Apple?
It's more. I mean, I get that you can't understand it.
I'm pretty sure that
it's more of a cultural thing.
I'm pretty sure that Jeeves.
It's more of a cultural.
Jeeves Dobbs.
I get that, like in your little pocket of weirdos, that Star Trek is like really good, but like as far as like out branching into the world of cinema and technology, I mean, it's Star Wars.
Who owns the rights to all of Pixar?
I'm sorry that it is, but
Big D.
yeah, without
Big
all this,
Disney.
yeah. But it all started with Star Wars, though. Sorry, it did. I mean, I get that you can talk about your cell phones and you can talk about your tablet, whatever. Oh yeah, oh my God, yes. Captain Kirk used a little. He used a little brick one time that had like a picture on it, like had a sticker.
Because nobody knew what that was going to turn out to. Come on. That was going to turn into a cell phone. Everyone knew that.
Says the guy that's about to turn over to Star Trek. It's fine.
I'm just I'm making a point that Star Wars has its place in this world. That's all.
Yeah,
and
it does.
Lasting Legacy.
It does have a place in this world.
Branched off.
It does have a place in the world. It does have a place in the world. The place in the world that Star Wars is going to be.
I would ask you
100 years from now. 100 years from now, Star Wars, its place is going to be is forgotten.
I would ask you to go on Amazon Prime and watch Shadow of the Empire.
Oh, what? Yeah. Well, what is that?
What is that? I would actually want to know what that is.
Is that called Shadow of the Empire? I think it is. So
Is it
it's a documentary.
animated?
Oh, Empire of Memories.
Okay, so Star Wars bias
I forget what it's
documentary. You know, I can
It's a
make
documentary.
I can make a Star Trek bias
But
documentary.
it shows you everything that came out of it, and arguably more than was put into it. What the cultural impact of Star Wars is what came out of it, and what ILM has done, and everything that came out of it and stuff like that. It was all made
what
possible
came out of it
by Star Wars.
Trek.
You don't get to T2 without Star Wars. You don't. George Lucas he invested in this company, and he
Industrial Light and Magic is not Star Wars.
It's where it started. It's where it started. and it was financed by Lucas.
It was
You
financed.
don't get to where we are now without George Lucas. I'm sorry. Gene Roddenberry, I'm sorry. I'm sure.
Gene Roddenberry didn't use any industrial light or music. I'm saying this
sure
now
the
on the
people like
record. I'm saying this on the record. Gene Roddenberry wouldn't stoop that low.
No, it shows that he wouldn't use somebody like an Industrial Light and Magic in the early Star Trek. It does show that they wouldn't stoop to
But here we are.
glorious effects.
But here we are.
It's true.
But here we are, 2019, and who and what is making the better product?
Arguable. I would say arguable.
Bullshit.
I mean, you haven't seen Picard yet, so you can't tell me what it's going to be.
I'm not even talking about Picard.
You said Discovery.
I mean,
you said Discovery was okay, right? Isn't that
I
what
know.
you
I
said?
just said Discovery's great.
That was good.
Yeah,
It's okay. Okay,
great.
it's fine. It'll do for now.
It's awesome. What was the last Star Trek movie you've seen in theater, or a Star Wars movie you've seen in theater?
Oh, in theater? It was Last
The Force
Jedi.
Awakens?
I saw Last Jedi in the
Did you?
theater.
Oh,
Did you see Solo
Oh.
in theater?
Oh, no, I did see Solo in theater. Emily fell asleep, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
She did.
That was the one that I was like hooked on.
I did like Solo. Emily fell asleep halfway through, but I think we had brunch before that, so we had like cocktails.
Oh, you had some.
You had mimosas.
We
A
had
little bit of
mimosas.
mimosas.
And if she has a couple drinks, she gets a little sleepy sometimes. I don't blame it. So it was pretty good. It has nothing to do with the movie.
This war will rage on forever.
It'll
so.
rage on. It's not going to be solved tonight. Well,
It won't be.
I mean, one of us is right. Oh wait, one of us is wrong, and the other one is me. So
Yeah. Oh
all I'm
my
saying
gosh.
is that yes, Star Wars isn't perfect. Culturally, more of an impact than Star Trek.
bullshit.
I'm gonna say it right now. It is.
No, dude, there's more scientific achievements because Star
You
Trek.
fans out there, freaking
All right.
comment.
No,
subscribe, tell me what's going on
Definitely
here.
like and subscribe. It's just so you can tell Eric that he's wrong. Star Trek has had way more of a cultural impact than fucking Star Wars.
If you
What was the first year that Star Trek came out? Like 60...
Like 66.
66?
is it really that?
Like William Shatner first time on air.
William Shatner's first time on air wasn't until like episode 2.
He actually wasn't in the first episode.
It was
Really?
It was Christopher Pike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Wow. I didn't
Even
know
I,
that.
even I know that.
Well, shit.
Because you have to know things if you're going to talk shit about them. That's the lesson here. Nah, Star Trek.
I think Star Trek is top of the line for the real philosophical future.
Yeah.
Like how people are going to really think about things in the future. I feel like Star Trek is more fits that more. And Star Wars is kind of like a backwards thinking of how the future is going to be because like why would a lot of these these interstellar beings fight the way they do?
My argument would be that both series are ass backwards right now. And classic Star Trek is legit.
Right.
Up to a certain point. And I don't think that it's there anymore. Like, really, I don't. I don't think that. I mean, I haven't seen Discovery.
As a
Maybe I should.
society,
Maybe I should.
maybe we're all taking a step backwards and not looking at the product.
Even the TNG movies, they're not becoming of the original series. I mean, they're more action adventure movies.
The TNG movies?
Yeah.
Well, movies are always made to be short films.
Oh, for sure. But they're more done like in more of an action adventure.
They're done in a hour and a half sequence
More of,
of
action.
one story.
You think so?
Of a one story instead of like the TNG spanning spending a few episodes long on a certain subject. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours of one subject, and it's hard to get. That's why Star Trek has always been better as a TV series.
I agree, and that's why they should keep it as a TV series.
And that's why they are.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars is failing at the movies.
Leave Star Wars to the big films.
You can have all the box offices you want. It doesn't. It doesn't change the fact that in 50 years from now, people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that Star Wars thing. Star Trek's still still here."
Arguably, it will be. I would say. I don't think Star Trek's going anywhere anytime soon.
No, it's not. And in 50 years, when Star Wars is just like a fantasy story that we once were read as kids or whatever, watched. Oh wait, you don't read anymore because all the canon is gone. It's just one of those shows you watch. Star Trek is going to be one of those TV series that's always going to be referenced.
It just feels like
what is referenced more
for me. Like the difference really is between like I'm a big TNG fan for sure.
Well, how could you not be?
Yeah, for sure. And I just feel like the movies were a lot different than what the TV show was.
They were.
And
they focused on one story.
Yeah,
they were a little
I feel
bit
like they were trying to make it more like action-packed, trying to make even Picard like into some kind of action hero. Like, in what world I mean...
Nah.
I mean, sending them out fucking, like, to go fight Shinzu, wasn't it? Tom Hardy and shit. And
that was a dire situation, though.
Yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah.
Data did not need to die in that situation.
But he did. But it's all going to be wrapped up
you
in Picard.
You have a ship full of people ready to go at it. Why would you send Picard to jump around the ship and do flips and shit?
You know? The same reason fucking Luke Skywalker has the Force, and then there's 50 years of...
He does have the Force.
No reason why. All of a sudden he's a Jedi, and then like you take the books out, and all of a sudden he's an old man Jedi. Why? I don't know.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I don't agree what they did with Luke Skywalker in this new Last Jedi movie. So
you don't have to agree, but it fucking happened.
It happened,
and it's fucking canon.
It's canon now. It is, or is it?
Oh yeah.
I heard they're retconning some stuff in this new one. Yeah.
Oh wait, the last 9 movies, so now all of a sudden this is the only movie that matters.
Yes, this is going to be the only one that matters.
Everything that you've ever heard about Star Wars is now
pretty
all
much
in void.
Star Wars 1 is the next one coming out.
Yeah, all right. I can see that happening. That's what they need to do. Everything that you've ever heard about Star Wars is non-existent. We're taking everything away. I'm sorry. Luke Skywalker never happened.
Do it. Do it, Disney. Hey, Disney knows what they're doing, man. Fucking just gotta give it up. Is Disney backing Star Trek? No. Because Disney only backs winners.
Let's do some random questions.
All right, random questions.
All right, random question. I didn't hear anything, and I don't want to hear anything.
All you need to know is that Star Trek's not going to be on Disney Plus. That's all you need to know.
Dude, you excited for D23? That's the new Comic-Con. Did you know?
When's that coming out?
August 23rd. That's why it's called D23.
Oh, is that when the streaming service is coming out?
Yeah, or they're going to announce some things about Disney Plus and stuff on D23. They're going to announce a lot of shit about like the new Marvel stuff, Star Wars stuff, what's going to be on there. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge.
Dang,
right.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Donald Trump is.
All right, random
it's
question.
gonna be
I will start with Eric. What issue will you always speak your mind about? What issue will you always speak your mind about?
Star Wars versus Star Trek. I will always
let people know when they're fucking wrong. I don't know.
Now, what issue would I always speak my mind about? Let's see. I guess intolerance, maybe. That's kind of a good Mother Teresa type thing to speak around. Yeah, intolerance bothers me.
So if you see intolerance,
Yeah, I will
You're like,
speak
come
out.
on, man.
I'm like, come on, dude. This is lame.
so speaking of intolerance, man, I was doing my job, like driving around and stuff, and I saw it was sad. It broke my heart. Like, in all honesty, it broke my heart. I was driving, and then on the left hand side of me, like going opposite side of me, I saw this like big tattooed guy, fucking like yelling at his wife in his car, right? Just fucking yelling, and his wife is just quivering the whole time like this.
Oh my god.
You know, just like quivering.
That's tough.
You know, just like, and I saw it. Like, I can't get out of my car and be like, you know, what the fuck are you doing? It's just like, she's just like afraid the whole time. He's like, you know, like pounding his fist and like fucking getting so angry. I was like, man, dude, like, it makes me very thankful that I'm in like a very open relationship that I'm in now, because like it was actually really rough to see.
For sure. I think like people that it's always like really deep and stuff, like people that can't stick up for themselves. People that are like not just because like not brave or something, just people that are like an impasse, that have like a stronger person. Like, I mean, that's why I find Radio Flyer so sad. Shit.
Yeah.
That movie, like, it's terrible. Like, people that they don't have the means to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
They're just like victims of a situation that they did not wish themselves into. Like, they're just born in this thing. They have no control over the situation they're in, and they're just stuck there. I mean, that's that always cuts me pretty deep.
And yeah, it's crazy because, like, you know, you see it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you do. You like walk around, and like, there's really nothing much you can do if you stand up and you do something. Like, let's just say you're at your local grocery store and you see that happen. Like, what do you do?
Yeah,
well,
it's
like
hard to say.
They say you're not supposed to do anything. You know, that's
Yeah.
You know,
You don't
it's
know the
just gonna cause more
situation.
trouble.
You might,
But like
just cause more.
like to see that in passing, and like obviously in like the Seattle area, we have very long wait times for traffic, so you get to almost see the whole fucking conversation. It's like, man, like, and this is very troubling, you know.
Yeah, I definitely don't like violence against women or kids. That bothers me a lot, especially kids. Like,
kids especially.
Yeah,
for sure.
Or dogs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we all know dog violence is a no-go.
Yeah. I mean, John Wick says it all.
Yeah, we're not proponents of dog violence on the John Salmon Show, for sure.
All right, John, what issue will you always speak your mind on?
You know, the one thing that comes to mind, it might not be the biggest thing that I speak my mind on. I don't really speak my mind about anything because I feel like I'll get crucified regardless, but just like anything that involves space travel, a lot of people say like, we have problems down here. We don't need to do any space travel. My thing is like, well, research into traveling through space and like going to Mars, maybe colonizing Mars, is like all the problems that encompasses. Solving those problems could help us down here on Earth, because like so many things early NASA did has helped us beyond reckoning, like Velcro, just the simplest things, like types of adhesive, types of engineering. Like a lot of problems can be solved by trying to figure out how to travel through space, and I think that really multiplies our chances of survival as a race, like the human race, because like there is a heating of the Earth. And just today, when this was recorded, 7:26, the whole of Europe got the record highest temperature they have ever recorded ever, which was around 108 degrees Fahrenheit. In
Crazy.
Germany, that's fucking nuts.
By all accounts, the planet's dying.
Yeah.
It's getting hotter.
We need to figure out something soon.
Yeah, and thinking that we don't need to go into space or figure out anything space-wise is ridiculous.
I mean, it is definitely limiting our our capacity. Like,
Yeah, because there's
in order for us to
so
succeed
many
as a society,
problems.
we have to colonize other planets. That is,
yeah.
in my opinion, a fact.
I mean, we have two guys right here wearing tank tops. Like, this is...
Yeah, it's too fucking hot right now.
This is what... This
In
is the
Washington
cause.
State.
You have cause and effect right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it did rain most of
It
July.
did. It did. I feel like this is almost like our first day of summer.
It kind of is, man.
Yeah.
The 5th of July came way too fucking, like, too late, for sure. So, one thing... what-
John Man.
What issue will you always speak your mind about? Well, I've always been kind of not touted, but like I always have an opinion on everything, and I kind of like not a trivia person, but I have random facts in my mind. So I have a lot of
You're a good fact man.
Unrelated knowledge.
I'm very good at being the devil's advocate and speaking my mind to oppose another person's opinion, just to get the facts. Like, I like to hear the opposite view. So if someone has, like, no matter what political view or what scientific view you have, I like to play the devil's advocate just to get, like, the full scenario and then give, like, that other opinion a chance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, like, if we're talking about politics, Republican versus Democrat, like, I will, if you guys are both Democrat, I will definitely vote, or not vote. I will definitely, on this podcast, play the Republican just to get, like, both sides across.
Yeah. Get your knowledge out there.
So like, that's something I always speak my mind about, no matter what it is, which is crazy. Like, I do this, like, not only in this podcast, but in like public friend scenarios too. Like, if someone has like a strict, super big opinion on something, I will play the devil's advocate and like, I want to know you know.
And a lot of people get shit for doing stuff like that these days, but like how else are you going to really get this person's true feelings out?
Yeah. Well, then
Like, you want to ask them questions and be like, why do you believe this? Because I want to know your opinion on this.
Well, exactly. It's almost like the Star Trek Star Wars debate. It's like, if I don't ask you questions about Star Wars and call you out on it,
How am I going to know?
how do I know that you are not just saying shit just for the sake of saying shit?
Sometimes I am just saying shit for the sake of saying shit.
And then I'll call
Just
you
to
out
piss
on
off John, man.
it.
Yeah.
And then I'll call you out on it, and it's okay. But like, I'm definitely a devil's advocate type person, and I will keep this conversation going as long as it needs to go until I
keep the dialogue.
until I have your full opinion on the matter. So,
Feel ya.
all right.
Yeah, and it may or may not change your view on such a thing.
Well,
And that's another thing that doesn't really come out these days is like, you're not allowed to change your opinion. You're a fucking idiot asshole if you change your opinion. But
One
it's like,
thing is we have to hold true to our opinions right now and go head to head when this new Star Wars film comes out and this Picard series comes out.
we'll see who changes their mind and who sticks true.
Well, I really do feel like it's, you know, to kind of backtrack and kind of disagree with you guys right now. Devil's advocate, I guess. Like, I almost feel like it's that hold strong to the opinion that is kind of like ruining our like our Americana right now. It's one side or the other. Your opinion doesn't matter. I think everyone's opinion does matter. You know, I do really believe that everyone's opinion should be expressed, and maybe they express themselves a little bit more, they would have a better gauge on politics or on social matters. But right now, it's like, okay, I heard this on the media, this is what I think. So if you try to debate that person, it doesn't matter because they think what they think. They need to be able to change their mind. So opinions should be able to be changed. Like, whether it be like religion, politics, fucking money, like, you should be able to have an open mind and maybe be able to change your mind and your opinion. And I think that's what's a little bit wrong, is like, people aren't as open-minded about these type of situations. Like, maybe they should be. You know, like,
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't be right or wrong. It shouldn't be left or right. It shouldn't be Star Trek versus Star Wars. Let's have an open conversation about everything right now, and let's try to find a middle ground in all of it.
What's gonna make a good sci-fi movie just in general? That's a good metaphor to go on, like Star Trek versus Star Wars. It's like maybe the answer is not either or, but
maybe it's having Picard teach Luke Skywalker the Force.
Do something totally new, man.
I think that's what it is, really. Yeah.
You know,
I have no answers because I'm not educated, but I feel like it could happen.
We went with Eric last time. John.
Yeah.
What's an unpopular opinion you have?
Unpopular opinion.
He's got a lot.
An unpopular opinion that I have is that I'm like not dead inside. I feel like everyone that I talk to that's like my age, they're like so sad.
A lot of apathy.
So dead inside, and I'm like, I'm okay. Like I'm having a good time. Good time with my life.
It's
like
fine.
I haven't gone to college, and I'm like, I'm not the most successful person I know, but I'm like,
but happy.
But I'm happy. Like I've been doing my thing, and I've been doing it proudly, and just like kicking back and wasting my time.
Not everybody has a podcast like this to go to.
So
I guess not. Like maybe you should start a podcast, but it seems like a lot of people my age.
Not being indebted side is a unpopular opinion.
I feel like people. I also feel like my generation specifically thinks it's hilarious to be dead inside too.
Yeah.
Granted.
I mean, we called those emos in my generation.
Yeah. Today it's like, haha, fuck life, right? Commit suicide, right? It's hilarious. It's like a joke at this point, and it's like, I don't really feel like that. Sorry, but.
Well, do you feel like with your generation, like, do you feel like with your generation, there's a lot more people seeking help and like wanting the approval of like the generation before them, or like just like even their bosses? 'Cause like my generation, like from my personal experience is like work hard, do your stuff, like you make your own type of destiny, right? And do you feel like your generation is seeking more approval than like maybe like generations that came before them?
I think so. I think they're seeking approval from maybe not from older generations, but from people they deem as quote unquote worthy.
Well, what are those worthy quote unquote?
Influencers, other famous people.
So who are those influencers? Like are they
They're these funny people who don't really have turmoil in their life.
So
they're not really.
They're Instagram stars.
Yeah, people who are very fit.
They're fake.
Fake people, and people are judging themselves against these fake influencers, these personas that are 100% not real, that are created by marketing departments, and people think like, oh, I'm not this super charismatic person, then I'm just this shitty individual who's just like this normal guy who probably won't amount to much, but like if I try really hard, I can be like this perfect persona on the outside. And I feel like people these days, especially like my generation, like even though they know that is an outward, like very superficial persona, they still want to have that good very superficial persona. Even though they know it's very shallow, they still want it.
So even though they know
Well
it's
said, man. Well said.
So even though they know it's shallow and they still want it,
that thing can still bring them fame and money. So they're like, well, even if I have to sacrifice my good feelings, then it's all worth it.
But
I feel like it's not.
But because,
I don't think
like
if you have experience in life, it isn't worth it.
Well, I've noticed like from your generation, there's not a lot of experience in life. So there's a lot of like that that acceptance with your peers almost. So you want, like, I feel like with your generation there's a lot of acceptance with peer status. You know, you want that acceptance with your peers, and if you don't have it, like, there's something wrong.
Yeah, it's hard to say what.
Even though that acceptance is very superficial. Like, so are we coming to a point where, like, superficial acceptance is overcoming, like, real meaning in life? Like, you like,
to some people, maybe,
like superficial relationships are more meaningful than, like, real, like what me and my wife have, or you and Vanessa have, or you and your girlfriend have, like you and Emily. Are superficial relationships becoming more of an importance than, like, real relationships?
I think so, because, like, a lot of people my age and younger are moving more towards, like, the single life, and, like, are perpetually single. Like, you see a lot of it in Japan right now, which is kind of our future. If you look at their way of living, is a lot of online living.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you're the last dying gasp of grunge?
But
yeah, I think I'm the last dying gasp of like a nuclear family.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
But do you kind of feel like with that, like, it kind of brings, like, its own type of depression, because, like, you are looking for this superficial relationship that doesn't actually exist, so therefore, like, it brings a kind of depression, and
that no one else is seeing.
The wanting that, like, an older generation might want for is, like, that real physical, that one-on-one type of relationship, and that having that superficial online like type relationship is really like for the brain, is kind of like, maybe that's what's making a lot of these younger generations depressed and everything like that.
It's all encompassing, right? Because, like, there is, like, a big drive to live to live beyond your means and stuff. Like, it's all like the whole same thing and stuff. Like, you have, like, service jobs right now that are not getting filled because people feel like they are too good for that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, people, like, I mean,
yeah, and
well, it's
that
like
happens every generation, but this generation it's a bit more like
it's like when me and Eric were growing up. When me and Eric were growing up, it was all about, like, fucking cribs and MTV, and, like, let's make as much money as we can, like, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and that type of thing. And, like, I really do feel like your generation is a little bit different than the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, the cribs. Like, they almost want to live, like, a minimal life, but they want to have, like, this minimal social acceptance life. Like, okay, I'm gonna have a minimal life, but I definitely want 100 or 1,000 or 100,000 likes per picture I have.
Yeah, like, you're trying to squeeze out every positive part of being famous without being famous,
or
like, without all the work. You know, like with Twitch and, like, YouTubing and stuff, it's like you get to have all the fame part, but not as much of the drugs, rock and roll, high speed life.
Yeah, because, you know, like,
and people try and find that, and when they don't, they get really, like.
But on the other end, is it almost like super terrible for those kids that do find fame?
I think it is, because it seems fleeting. Like, there's no way that can last long term.
Yeah, there's plenty of YouTubers out there, aside from, like, PewDiePie, who's, like, top of the mound.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of fall off and don't have,
you know,
they're like washed up actors.
But what do they do after that? Like
nothing.
What is their psyche gonna, like, these kids, the younger generation, like, these kids, I guess, like, they have fame and fortune and everything that goes along with it, and all of a sudden just fucking stops. You know, what's that gonna do to their psyche? Like, all of a sudden they have, like, you come from a generation that, like, is supposed to be given everything to them, like the millennial generation or whatever you call it, and all of a sudden they have everything given to them. What if it's all taken away and then all of a sudden they don't have it? Like, what is that gonna do?
It's a good movie right there. Promise.
You know,
Be a good Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be
See,
cool. Like a new Tarantino style person, but with like millennial problems.
See, this is what I love
Cool.
about. This is what I love about random question, man. Good conversation comes from random questions. So, Eric, same question. What's an unpopular opinion you have?
Probably, I'd go in the same vein, kind of, just like we're overpopulated. And
Is that the same vein?
kind of. I think we're like an overpopulated culture. We have too many people, not enough resources. See, I'm getting out here. I'm going Thanos style.
You gotta eliminate half of
Yeah.
them.
One of the biggest problems we had coming up really is that there are it's not the same way it used to be generations before, where you worked into a certain age and retired. People are getting like older, they can't retire at the same age, so they're holding on to the same jobs. So we're not circulating enough, like as far as people goes, into like these other jobs. People are holding on to jobs a lot longer than they used to.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not able to care for as much people as we're being populated. So that's what I'm saying. My unpopular,
Stop having kids.
stop having kids is what I'm saying. That's my unpopular
I
opinion.
think that can solve a lot of the Earth's problems.
Yeah. We need to stop
Stop having like 8
delving
kids
culture.
and
Just delving all these adults in this whole fucking neighborhood. Like it's,
I mean,
No,
China's tried
stop it.
that. China's tried that.
mm-hmm.
You know, but it's like there comes to a certain point to like where do you become like a communist country?
Yes.
To where
yeah,
you
where
have
do
to,
you
like,
become this heinous, super authoritarian?
But
government?
is it also battle the fitness? You know, like all these people have kids, and like not to say anything bad about people that have like a shit ton of kids, but
I feel
most
like
of
I
their
have a
kids,
shit ton of kids.
most of
God damn it.
most of their kids are supplying the jobs that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a burger flipper. I don't want to be working on like some random ass farm.
The issue is that these kids don't want to do these jobs anymore. That's what the problem is.
That is what the problem is. You know, that is what the problem is. But those, you know, so.
So what do
It's
we do?
a hard
What
issue.
do we do?
Force them to work, I guess.
Yeah, force children to work.
All right. So
That's the idea.
what is an unpopular opinion that I have? One of my unpopular opinions that I guess I have is I believe,
Homeless. I'm scared.
yeah, the homeless is it really unpopular though?
I don't know.
Is it really unpopular?
It's politically unpopular.
It's shaky. Shaky.
It is shaky.
around. Yeah.
But I believe that if you want equal rights, you have to have equal rights throughout the board, right? Like, let's just take the soccer team, the United States women's soccer team. You guys all know they won the World Cup, right?
Yeah. Did.
And they were.
I found out Hope Solo beat the shit out of her family, and I was very sad. Anyway,
Yeah. So-
she's super hot, and I was like,
So they were
"Aw,
doing all this
why
crazy.
you gotta be a dick."
So
Anyway.
they were doing all this crazy like dances after they scored goals. They were doing tea party stuff, and they were doing all these dances, and they were getting criticized for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were getting criticized, and they were bitching
For
about
winning.
for winning, and they were getting criticized, and they took that criticization, and they're like, "Oh, it's because we're winning." No, it's because you're sports athletes. The thing is, if you want to be on the same level as men, you got to take the same level of criticism as men. If men did the same thing and they do all these crazy, outrageous fucking sports dances after they score a goal, and they get criticized for it, then fine. But if you do the same thing and you're amazing and you do these crazy sports goal fucking dances, expect the same criticism as men. If you want to be on the same level playing field as men, accept the same level playing field of criticism as men.
That's equal rights, right?
Equal rights across all. Black, white, Mexi, Jew, fucking whatever you are, man, female, gay, straight, trans, and all the other stuff. Equal rights across all. If you guys want the same playing field,
gendered myself.
I want the fucking same fucking criticism for all.
Agreed. But it's probably an unpopular opinion, yeah.
It is.
So it's good.
And that's probably one of my most unpopular opinions.
Yeah.
I want fucking equal rights for all. And I want them to be equal.
Seems fair.
Right? All right. Last question.
Last question.
The final act.
What is one of the great values that guides your life?
Great values.
I'll take this one.
Yeah, you
I'll
go
take
first.
this. I went first. One of the great values that guides my life. One of the great values that guides my life is empathy.
Yes.
I'm a very empathetic person, and I am very able to see and hear and listen to other people's situation and empathize with it. I'm very empathetic, and I believe that that's one of my greatest traits. So I'm just a very empathetic person. So that's great values in my life.
What was the specific question again?
What is one of your great values that guide your life? Mine was empathy.
I think one of the great values that guides my life, being raised by my dad, is I guess science and how people will very much stretch the truth about a lot of things. Like, my dad was very a skeptical man, and
Well, being a scientist, you have to be skeptical.
yeah, and I feel like he taught me that a lot of things that go on in the world are very what's the word, sensationalized to fit a certain agenda. Yeah. But you know, like he did it in a very non-biased way, and
So-
I don't.
So coming from a scientific background, right? I had this conversation with my coworkers today, and I kind of stumped him a little bit without getting too religious or too political. 2 questions. All right. So he is a Catholic school teacher, and he just got accepted for a job for a Catholic school teacher, and he's gonna be teaching science.
Mhm.
How does a Catholic school teacher teach science?
I don't know what's their view these days, because they change it like clockwork.
Well, in public schools, you're not allowed to,
Except in Kansas,
except in Kansas.
you're not allowed to talk about the whole Bible thing.
Yeah.
So he is a private school, private Catholic school.
So he's allowed to really.
So
talk
how
about
does a
whatever.
private Catholic school teacher?
I'm interested. What did he say?
Well, so I said, so how does a well, he didn't have anything to say really. Actually, he kind of was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. It's tough, really, because.
So I guess I'm
later-
asking for your guys' opinion because he didn't really have the answer,
Yeah.
even though he's the teacher.
I mean, like, it's fine. Like, I wouldn't. You can't. You can't.
You're in a Catholic school, private
Yeah,
Catholic school, and you're teaching
I'm a
science.
Catholic. Yeah, I was raised Catholic. It's kind of tough because it's like you are preparing minds to go into the world. I can see the point of. I mean, you'd have to teach it what's. I mean, there's state-run things that you have to teach, right? Like, you can't go outside that box, right? Like,
Well,
you can't just be like, well, like dinosaurs were Jesus horses.
Well, it depends.
Uh,
I think private school is different.
Maybe. Yeah. I guess it's kind of tough. I mean, it's your
Depends on the
responsibility.
private school for sure.
I think as far as like the individual and stuff, it's your responsibility to make these kids, if you're going to teach science and stuff, to bring these kids up so that they are the best equipped to go out into the world. And if you are not doing that to the best of your ability when they go out into the world and they don't have the correct facts, I mean, that's negative, that's on you. It's irresponsible.
Yeah, you know, it was crazy. And like, I tried to like ask questions without getting fired. Is like, how does a Catholic school teacher teach science without like within God's perspective?
Yeah, without
you know?
overlapping the whole Bible science thing. Like there's
It's
a lot
tough.
of overlap going there.
There's a lot of
Do you
overlap.
just admit that
Evolution was right, wrong?
or the Bible was wrong? Like, sorry, but that
Or
bit
is
of
it-
the Bible is
it
incorrect.
like, or
but
is science like math?
yeah.
You know?
Or do you just straight up say like the Bible? Don't ever say this in front of like a priest or something, but the Bible is like a metaphorical thing designed to help you on your actual living life.
But people at a private school are paying a lot of money don't want their fucking teachers saying that the Bible is metaphorical.
Exactly.
It's crazy, right?
So it's hard to say. I think it very much depends on the specific private school you're going to.
I'm not going to talk much shit about religion on this podcast because I'd say like it's more of,
Yeah, definitely not.
it's
Don't talk
more a moral lessons, right? Like, I mean, there are certain, it's like for most people, I don't know about for me myself, but for most people it helps them to be afraid of things.
Yeah.
Fear makes people better people, I would say. If you have something to be
Yeah, it's
afraid of.
easier to conform to something that you're like that you're serious about.
Yeah. So
For
I
sure.
remember being like that when I was a kid and stuff like that. Well, if I don't do this, I'm gonna go to hell. Like stuff like that, right? That's
Yeah.
it's a healthy fear. It is, but that shouldn't be the only thing that's keeping you in line, really.
Yeah. You gotta take a look at yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard to say. It depends on the individual.
that's true.
What was the question again?
I don't remember.
Something about religion.
Something about atheism.
Be an atheist. It's just easier that way. Let's talk shit about John, man.
I
While he's
think,
gone.
oh, for sure. I think I heard one funny thing. I think it was Penn from Penn and Teller and stuff. He was talking about, like if you don't believe in God, like what's keeping you from raping a woman? It's like, well, like freaking my
My like brain.
yeah, my brain that it's not right. Like, do you
That's
really
like the
need
most fucked up thing, and
Do
I'd
you
go
need
to jail
believe
for
in God
years.
to not do that? Like it's weird. Like it's a weird argument.
I think the argument he's trying to make, which is kind of a actual, you should make this argument, is without rules or an authority to tell you no.
Yeah.
This goes back to Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain later. Like if there's not an authority to tell you no, would you still cease to do that thing, or will you just be like every human in the fucking history of time and be like, you know what, fuck that.
It all goes down to how you're
There's no
raised,
rules. Who's
right?
gonna stop me? So that's the thing, and that's kind of the metaphor of the whole of Superman. Is he is America, who has basically for the last 40 years said, everyone be good or I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Or like, I'll drop the hammer down.
Mm-hmm.
Which is America since the Cold War. I mean, it's... I don't know where I was going with that. I'm drunk.
What was the?
What was I going with?
I got this.
What's the great values that guides your life?
A great moral. I think my dad always had like a really good moral compass, and I think that my I try to like live my life by that. And there was a minute there where I was with somebody that didn't have the same values that I did. And it really drug me down like a dark place where I knew like stuff that was happening was wrong and I didn't agree with a lot of it. And then now that I'm more in charge of my everyday life and can use that moral compass that my dad taught me and stuff, I feel like I'm a lot happier and stuff. So I'd say, I don't know, I guess it all comes down to empathy, yeah?
You know, I think that moral compass means a lot more in today's society than
Sure.
a lot of people give
I
it
feel
credit
like
for.
I have a good sense of right and wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most people, I would like to think most people do.
Well, honestly, right now in this day and age, I don't know if most people do anymore.
It's tough.
I think that right and wrong, that feeling of like I'm doing something wrong, is definitely not instilled in people's brains anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, I don't know if you guys saw this on the news, but like this guy in Sammamish today was just like hopping all over cars and fucking like tearing off fucking the sky or the sunscreens or whatever on cars today, just randomly fucking like crazy guys. Like there's no moral compass of like right and wrong of like, all right, if I do this, like the consequences of what's gonna come with it, like they don't like. There's a lot of people that don't have that anymore, and like, are we entering the area of like where empathy and the right and wrong is outweighing like the public perception of like where like there's more of these people that just don't understand that anymore?
It's honestly scary.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like to know that like there's people out there that don't understand right and wrong. Like if they murder someone, or if they beat someone up, or if they like take something from someone, they don't understand why is wrong.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's very scary.
Or feel anything. Like I've known people that don't have that. That would do something. I've known people that would do something fucked up and don't have that emotional response, like in the negative way, and that is kind of like fucking weird. Like,
yeah, it is like the no guilt.
Yeah.
Like they did something wrong, and then all of a sudden they have no guilt over what they did. It's like, okay, hold on. Like, why do you not feel guilty right now? It's crazy.
Dark. We live in dark times.
We do, man. And the thing is, like, the more people, more problems, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Overpopulation, man. We gotta cut it down. Cut that shit out.
Or move away from the population.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that might be the answer too. Oh God, I would totally love to move away from this all, just to be.
Dude, we should go to Bend, Oregon.
Is that a nice place, man?
Dude, nice place, small community, fucking great beer.
I think that's the answer, dude. Small community, dude, if you moved to Bend, great beer.
If you moved to Bend, Oregon, I would probably follow you because like I'm looking for management jobs.
I'll look into it, man.
Yeah.
Does it sound really good?
Yeah.
We can do this podcast from Bend, Oregon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
No, like I forgot what we were talking about before I left about I had a fucking good point of view, but
I'm sure it was amazing.
Yeah. No, it is crazy though, man. Like we live in such a big world, and like it's crazy like living in like a bigger city, because like beforehand I lived in a small city, and small city, small problems, but big city, bigger problems.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
And like you really get a different point of view on like even like your politics.
Yeah.
Like your politics are skewed too, because like now there's a lot more people you have to account for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you supposed to make a decision for millions of people versus thousands of people? It's crazy.
It's nuts. A lot of ugliness out there. Like I know that John Man and I will go back and forth like on Star Wars and Star Trek. I mean, if that's how ugly it gets, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine, man. That is fine, man. Like,
it's all shits and gigs and stuff like that. But there's I don't know, man. Like freaking, you hear about shit all the time and shit. Like I'm fucking John Man would have stabbed me tonight or something. Like I'm talking about Star Wars.
All right.
Shit happens all the time.
We capping this bitch off?
Cabinet.
Last question, then we'll get into our outro. What bends your mind every time you think about it? Eric?
What bends my mind every time I think about it? Probably. Why don't you go, John, first?
What bends my mind is. I guess how much technology grows and how these days like, I think I wasn't born back in the day, but like in the 60s or like before that, pre-World War II, it's like when things got more advanced, things got bigger and more epic. But these days it's like when things get bigger, it also gets smaller and more efficient and infinitely more efficient. Like, it's just,
That's crazy.
like, you can have, like, in 2004 250 megabytes was like, that's huge, man. That's like 8 games right there. But now that wouldn't get you a quarter of a game, and also is powered by a quarter of the power and takes up a quarter of the space, yet you have tenfold the storage.
All right, check out this cell phone. This cell phone that has the moon on it, right?
That little iPhone right there.
Apollo 11 just landed on the moon like a week ago. This cell phone has more technology in it than the fucking whole Apollo 11 mission. It is nuts. And we landed on the moon in this, what was it, 69?
Yeah.
69, landed on the moon with less technology than what this cell phone has in it.
Yeah, and that's why I think, like, y'all need to be in space right now. Stop fucking around.
I'm collecting information for a conspiracy theory episode just on my own and stuff. Just to, I'll present it to you guys when I have everything.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I'd love to talk about it. Yeah.
One thing somebody told me, which I'm trying to figure out if it's true or not, is that there's been more technological advancements since the Roswell crashing. From any point in history, since the Roswell crashing to now, there's been more technical advancements in that time span than there has at any point in history.
And that boggles your mind more than anything else.
Well, I'm just trying to see if that's true.
So this is just offshoot of
This is
John's
offshoot.
answer.
This is like an episode. This is a future episode.
Offshoot of John's answer. Okay, yeah.
I'll send out my notes.
Yeah.
And I'm done.
Dude, I would love to do a conspiracy theory episode, man.
We'll talk about it.
I have some conspiracy theories.
I'm looking into like MK Ultra. I'm looking into all that shit. Like just trying to figure out some
Project
cool stuff to
Manhattan.
talk about. Yeah.
So speaking of conspiracy theories, what did you guys think about the Storm Area 51?
I'm there. I'm gonna fucking Naruto,
Well, it's already passed.
Naruto my way into there. I thought it was September.
Is it September?
I think it's
Yeah,
September.
Okay.
it's September.
All right. So are you gonna go?
Yeah, I got my tickets and everything.
Do you?
Your tickets.
You know, honestly, it's very intriguing. Like, what is the government supposed to do if like that many people actually do show up to Storm Area 51?
Kill them all? I don't know.
You
I'm
can't
just gonna
kill them
say
all.
stop, or else we'll shoot you, and then all the nerds will be like, "Oh,
Well,
okay, I guess
eventually
go home."
the government's gotta put down their guns because they can't kill them all. You know, like we do have in our constitution to overthrow our government. You know, like what
I think
are
at this point, Area 51 is just like,
I'm pretty sure all it is just aircraft. I think it's gonna
Yeah, they're gonna
no
be
matter what
like-
it is. You know, like they've probably moved
What
it by
it-
now, right?
Yeah, right? Right.
what if they totally do a spin on everything that people thought, and they were like, "Yeah, let's take a tour. Let's do it."
Oh, yeah.
There's the
they can have-
F-35. There's the B-2 right over there. We tested that right
You know what
there.
this group should have done is just done it fucking like secretly. That way the government can't fucking move all their cool
That's true.
toys.
Yeah.
But the
Maybe
thing is,
it
if you
was
have,
a ploy by
if
the
you have like
government.
100,000 people or 500,000 people, you can't kill that many people.
No.
Yeah.
And that if you did kill that many people, do you know how many fucking people would be pissed off the government just killed 500,000 people of their own?
Yeah.
You should just charge tickets, man. Make so much fucking money. Sure
Yeah.
about people going to Area 51? Shit.
Alright, so what is the question?
You can sell t-shirts.
All right,
What bends my mind every time I think about it?
John Man.
What bends my mind every time I think about it
What's that?
is how insignificant and how small we are in this universe.
Yeah, we're like
Agreed.
specks
And
specks of dust.
specs. And for anybody that thinks they can conceive the size of the universe is lying.
Yeah.
Because it literally, like, I will literally freak out at night thinking about how big this universe is. Like,
Did you know that if the Earth was the size of a basketball, you could soak up the world's oceans with a single paper towel?
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's how superficial our oceans are. It's barely like a millimeter of the entire world itself.
Yeah.
And that's like our lifeblood of everything that's
like-
on our Earth.
Like, sit down, John, turn off the lights for a second. Sit down. I want
Ooh,
everyone.
this is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone.
Use your NPR voice, everyone. Calm down. Let's turn this down.
Everyone, sit down.
Excellent. Yes.
Close your eyes. And I want you to think about where you are right now. Like, go out into the next person that you know is in the room, and then after that, go into the next person after that, and then keep moving, and then go into the next place you went to, then the place you work, and then go into the next country you visited, go into the next ocean you crossed, and then think that it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now think about going to the moon. Think about going to Jupiter, Mars.
Yeah.
Go further out. And just keep going.
You know what's crazy? You can go straight up
Yeah, you can go anywhere. Up, down.
for just
Left,
1 mile, and you would be
right.
out of the atmosphere.
Isn't that weird?
Just keep
In 60
going.
seconds, you'd be out of the atmosphere.
No, not 1 mile.
That's how thin our
Hardly.
layer is
and
that
the
we
layer.
survive on.
Just just think about it. Just think about. I just want everyone sitting here thinking right now and watching right now. Think about what infinite means to you.
It's kind of scary to think.
Just think about infinite. Like this right now. Like we are literally a speck of sand in a timeline of infinite. Like think about infinite. That there's infinite amount
It
of
helps
galaxies,
to look at the stars.
an infinite amount of stars. And here we are talking on a podcast. And here you are listening to a podcast.
What's the scarier thought? That we are not alone in the universe, or that we are?
The scarier thought is that we haven't found. That we're not alone yet. The scarier thought is that, actually the scariest thought is that we've already been found.
Just not deemed worthy enough to be involved in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And that's your cliffhanger for the next episode.
we haven't hit the year for First Contact yet, so that's why.
Yeah, 2063.
Yeah.
Yep.
Zevran Cochran.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to change my name.
Holy sweet Jesus.
I think we'll leave them with that.
Wait, hold on. Turn on the light real quick.
We
yes.
gotta put on our surfer music.
Yeah, we got it. It's coming. I knew it.
Did we lose our surfer music?
No. Not the surfer music. Oh.
Yeah.
That makes your heart like kind of jump a little bit, like your heart rate.
I like that dark segment though. That's pretty good.
Nice. We should do that every time.
I do want you. I do want, in all seriousness, I do want you guys to think about infinite for a second.
We'll call that the John Man Minute.
The John Mann minute.
It's hypnotic.
We'll call it.
Supersonic,
You know
funky,
what?
fresh.
We should do more night episodes because this night episode we look great right
We
now.
did.
We do, yeah.
Well,
Look
like-
at my muscles.
Like John, think if you brought your light and we turn off all the lights and all we had was your ambient light, that'd look great.
We'll call that segment John Man in the Multiverse of Madness.
All right. So
Yeah.
what was that timer? Like 2 hours, 50 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
All right. We had a great episode tonight.
We did. So we're for Picard, we're for Terminator, we're for the Marvel Universe.
We're for the Watchmen,
We're for the
Terminator,
Watchmen.
Witcher,
We're down on Star Wars.
Black Lightning.
Blacklight. If you want, you take one thing from this whole episode is that watch a Black Lightning.
Or
Yeah.
another
And then tell
thing
me-
that
talked about
and then
that the
tell me
most.
what it is.
yeah. One thing from this episode, we didn't talk about half the stuff that we noted. Oh wait, hold on. And I have a farmer's tan. Look at that.
Yeah, you
Look
did.
at that farmer's tan.
Dang, son.
Wow.
That we didn't bring enough beer.
No, we didn't. Next time.
Next time.
Yeah, we at least I think everyone needs a 6-pack, honestly.
Yeah.
All right.
You know. Okay, so until next time, this is the John Sandwich Show. Remember to follow us on Twitter at the John Sandwich 2, on Instagram whenever Eric figures that out. Woo! YouTube channel. Leave comments below. Leave us your fucking questions. We will be happy to answer your random questions. And to the podcasters out there listening on all podcast forums, we are the Sandwich.
The power is yours.
To Robert Pattinson somewhere out there in Hollywood, I would like to say good luck to you, sir. You will be our best Batman.
Robert.
I'm a vampire. Say it. I'm a shiny vampire.
Sparkle.
Look at me, Robert Pattinson. Do you feel